feel like I'm asleep.
Bruh, you know what it be? The jurors bend in the middle.
Yeah, the kids like they did something like 2 cookouts ago, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Her brother sat.
Mm-hmm.
I can say it on here. I don't care. Her mama don't watch this. Her brother sat his big ass on the table and bent the bitch in the middle. I was pissed off. I was about to fling
Bruh,
his little 9-year-old ass.
bruh. We have those same tables at work for like when the guys clean upholstery and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like every so often we just gotta replace them. And like sometimes the technicians don't be telling the facilities manager, hey, I need a new upholstery table. He just look in their truck and be like, what the fuck is this? Or like when they gotta take everything out of their truck and clean everything out, and he
Mm-hmm.
see the table doing like this here,
That's
and
exactly
all
what
it
it's
got
doing.
on it is trigger sprayers and gallon bottles, and it's doing like this. He's like, nah, you need a new table.
Bruh. We got another one. I just can't find it in the garage. But this one cool.
Yeah,
It's cool for now.
I think I got two. Well, I think I got two because the one
Memphis
that I
Bucks.
started frying chicken on the back porch, I just left it outside. Because I'm like, I'm gonna probably be frying chicken on it again or something. Let me just leave it out there. I'll just clean it off when I go back out there and fry chicken again. And then I think I got another one in the garage. I didn't even realize I had to until Maddie graduation party, and my mom had came down and she was helping me clean and set up some shit. And she saw both of them and she set them up over there. I was like, oh shit, I ain't even know.
Hey guys. Y'all know how we do.
Hey, I forgot we've been live for like 2 minutes.
You gotta clean it with a little hawk to it and then your gel blast.
Yeah, and then you gel blast it right after. What the
Big Vin, what's up, big dog?
Man, now it's stuff, bruh. So check this out. Last night, I don't know if I can say it, but I'm gonna say it. But last night, I had the chance to record a little something with Vin and Simp and Cal.
Okay.
And like we was sitting there hanging out, chilling and everything, and I'm like, bruh, like this is what I like right here. Like I could pod with y'all, like y'all, because you know how sometimes you pod with people and then you be nervous. Oh, Vin and Simp and Cal. We recorded an episode of Bulls on Parade for the first time in a long time for the Black Wrestling Patreon. Pay the 1 or pay the 10. But yeah, it was cool to hang out with them dudes, man. They was real fun to hang out with. Now, if y'all pay the 1 or pay the 10, I can't wait for y'all to hear the episode because
you niggas could have told me. Hey brother, let me tell you something.
Look here.
Ain't gotta tell you a goddamn thing.
Yeah, dude, you almost made me call you by your government name on your stream right now.
Oh, I will. Look here, Anthony. Gotta tell you shit. Matter of fact, don't you gotta show? Never mind.
And shouldn't you be doing show prep? You worried about us?
Right.
Nigga, go do show prep. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta tell you a motherfucking thing, nigga. I love that.
Fuck.
I love having my own show.
China shop. This why.
Bulls on Parade is a rage song.
Because I'm wearing this t-shirt, right? And it's the homie Sweet Glenn Miller. Glenn is a huge like super diehard Texans fan. And I want to say the name of their tailgaters, Raging Bull Tailgaters. But I'm thinking Bulls on Parade because that's what they call the Texans. That's the nickname for defense or some shit like that. So I'm thinking football, and I'm messing up the pod name and shit. Look, forgive me because I always mess stuff up. Like right now, I'm about to be a professional. I'm about to just read this shit. This is episode 37 of Sucio Sports with Keyz and Jermaine, presented by Gel Blasters. Because I promise you, I will fuck it up and forget it. Let me see.
Bam.
I thought this one do stuff.
Put your ones up. No, I don't think the one do nothing.
Anyway, episode 37 of Sucio Sports presented by Gel Blasters and In Play Dogs. And we can't forget about all of our other sponsors on the CDB Multimedia Network.
Yes, sir. Make sure you like, share, get your friends in here. Yeah. It's NBA draft night. We are
retweet, all that.
We are 9 picks in. I missed pick 9 because I was talking to y'all. I didn't even see who Memphis got, but I'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, like, share, make sure you are subscribed. We are here every Wednesday, normally at 9:30. We went a little earlier tonight because the NBA draft is on. Round 1 is on live right now. So we figured we would live talk through the NBA draft. We are also 9 picks in. We are now at pick 10 with Utah. And we still going to talk about a couple other things in sports at the end. There we go. Okay. It's lit tonight. You like what your favorite team has done so far? I don't think my team has a pick in the first. Yes, we do. I think we like 18 or something like that. Big Laker fan. If you can't see the jersey, you know. The GOAT. Number 8, the GOAT. The real GOAT. Not the other guy who there right now.
Man, chill. He
ain't the GOAT. Chill. I just want to know where his son going.
We got a whole that'd be a whole episode all in itself.
That's not really a long episode.
This guy.
I mean, if you want to be honest, Bill Walton better than
I got the number 9 pick.
Okay.
I got it.
All right,
I had I had set up
Cody Williams from Colorado. Okay.
I had the computer and the phone and everything set, and I forgot where I put each tab and what I was gonna do, and so I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes
I wonder what Dre is. I wonder if Dre is upset that a guy from Colorado just got drafted to the Utah Jazz. So if y'all don't know, those who know Dre has this thing against Utah, and it's funny as shit. It is fucking hilarious.
Bro.
Fucking hilarious. I know he pissed. That's like the irony for him that a guy from Colorado is on to Utah.
Bro, that is the best. I know, bro. You know he gonna be so conflicted. He's gonna be so good. He gonna be pissed. And this is gonna be great. I can't wait.
Man, let me go and text him. Here. Pull up, bitch.
Yes, do like Brother Fam said. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notifications. Hit all them buttons.
Go Nets. We got next year's draft on lock with these picks. I ain't gonna lie. So we can talk. We can start right fucking there. I think I like Mikal Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges has hella upside. He's him. I really think he is him. But I also think the Knicks gave up a lot to get him. But
they did. They really did. But they had to though.
Right. And I was talking with my other homeboy Jermaine, me and House's homeboy Jermaine, and he said this morning when me and him talked, he said something that made sense. He said, as a Knicks fan, he said, are we really going to use those picks for real? And I thought about it, and I'm like, y'all are pretty set at every position in a sense. Like Mikal at small forward was kind of what y'all were missing a little bit. So now you're kind of locked at center forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard. Like y'all are there. So what he said made sense when I thought about it. It was okay giving up the picks because what are we really going to do with the picks? So yeah. I'm not totally. Initially, it still was just really all of that for Mikal Bridges. Y'all believe in Mikal Bridges like that? Then we seen a couple young boys got paid today. Boy, OG got paid. I don't know how much of that is guaranteed, but OG got paid.
It's the full thing. NBA and Major League Baseball are the only two with fully guaranteed contracts.
Oh shit, young nigga get paid, boy.
Hey, look, in them NBA contracts, out of that 212 and a half that he signed for, I believe
Mika.
like there's something like less than like 5% or 2% or something like that is like non-guaranteed. Like the only way he won't see that money is if he did something to void the contract, basically.
Ah, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, OG got paid. Then the Nets when they paid Nick Claxton, which I think was dope for them. Nick Claxton's a really good center, so I like that they locked him up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Claxton
I
is
like
one of
that the
those
Knicks
guys
locked up.
where he's kind of he kind of came into the league like okay, and he's slowly been ascending and slowly just getting better and
You
better
know what?
each and every year.
I didn't even think about that either, House. That's a good thing too. Is you have all of those picks. Look at what the Suns are trying to do right now. Like they're talking. I mean, not the Suns. Like what Houston was going to do. Houston was trying to talk to the Suns. Like, hey, we'll give you your picks back. You can get your picks back if you give us one of them superstars you got over there. Like, and if I'm the Suns, I'm gonna be honest. I would have been like, who you want? You want Bradley or you want? I might have kept KD. I'm not letting Booker go. Devin Booker can. I'm keeping Devin Booker just because he's younger. But I would have entertained it for KD. I ain't gonna lie. How many of them first rounds you giving back for KD? 5? Yeah, let me get them
But
back.
look, they said the Rockets wanted Booker and they were interested in KD, but they really wanted from what the rumor mill says, they really wanted Booker and would have wanted KD or whatever, but it's really Booker that they're after.
I mean, that makes sense for everybody. Yeah, they said a lot of people are interested in KD, but I don't think the Suns are. I wouldn't trade them. I mean, unless it's a move like with Houston to get all of those picks back. To me, it don't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy because the Suns are in a weird position where Bill is, I think, 32 or 33. KD's 35. And then you got Booker, who's only 27. No, I'm sorry. Bradley Beal is 30.
Okay.
But still, he's 30 in
because he came in after his freshman year from Florida, so he only did a year at Florida. I keep forgetting a lot of them did just that 1 year. So
yeah, there were a lot of them were one and done. A lot of them
they've been there for a long time now. So
right. It's kind of weird because like you look at like the dynamics of that team and nobody, we were all wondering, is this going to work? Like there's only one basketball and you got 3 guys who want to take 20 or so shots a game, roughly.
I mean, and it can work because the way I look at it, not everybody gonna be hitting every night. One night is gonna be KD night. One night is gonna be Booker night. It's gonna be Bill night one night. You know what I mean? So I think it definitely can work. I think they need to bring in a point guard now that can maybe they need a CP3 in a sense that can facilitate a healthy CP3 or a John Wall. Wall said he just want any. I like John Wall, and I think at this point in his career, he's turning into a point guard. He's not really that flashy. I'm looking at it from the sense of like somebody that understands like, all right, my job is to facilitate, to get the ball, and that he's very good at doing that. But like I said, I like a CP3. Golden State's, like me and you talked earlier, they're looking to move him. It's just his contracts be so
bro, it's
always too much money with him.
It's
never worth it. Yeah, because he stays hurt too much to even be worth the money that he garners. Or
and
thinks he's garnering.
The thing that I'm not real sure about is like when you look at the money he has on his deal at that max contract, and I think, let me see, this may be his last year.
Good pick for the Bulls, Matas Bazilis. Sorry. There's a lot of good players from G League Ignite that are going to get drafted tonight and tomorrow.
Oh, definitely. Okay, yeah. So he's in the last year of his deal.
Who is?
CP3 at 30 million.
That's not bad.
It's really not bad, but when you think about it, he's 39 and oftentimes misses games. And like a perfect example, I'm looking at his career log right here. He has not played in 70 or more games since the year after the COVID year. 2020 in the 2020 2021 year, he played. That was the last time he played 70 games even. He played 70 games in the COVID year. Before that, he hadn't played 70 plus games in 4 more years. So in his last 10 seasons, he's played 70 games 3 times.
Oh, Memphis took Zach Edey?
Yeah.
Well, it's so crazy because they wanted Donovan Clingan, and they were trying to trade up with Portland to get him. Or was it Charlotte?
Portland wanted him.
No, yeah, Portland. They were trying to trade up with Charlotte to get him, and Charlotte didn't want to go with whatever trade they were trying to give, which is probably just moving back. So, I mean, we talked about Zach Edey a lot, during the tournament more than the season, and
yeah,
I think it was a good pick. I mean, Clingan, both of them, I would say were pretty even in styles of play and how they play. 2 big country white boys back to the basket, great defensively. They can rebound. So I think either pick is going to be all right. Zach Edey is going to fit right in with Memphis and them needing that big man with Ja coming back, Marcus Smart being back fully healthy. So I love it.
Yeah, I think
hey, don't make too much noise, right? But if you look, there's a wild lovely that just got in here. Do you see it?
Huh?
There's a wild lovely that just came in here.
Oh, bro, I wasn't even paying attention to the
too
comments.
much noise about it. You made too much noise about it. It's gonna run.
My bad.
It's gonna run.
Coming gonna disappear.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a rare Pokemon. It's gonna run. If you look at it, it'll move.
It's a rare Pokemon. Hey, we're gonna shift it up.
Hey, lovely. How are you? Hey, it's a blessing that you have joined the fellas. We're talking sports.
Appreciate it.
I never hear you talk sports. I wonder how much sports do you know? We got to bring you on.
My new shot glass that my daughter got me.
I'm drinking my new flavor of goat fuel just came in. I forgot to tell you about that. This one is peach pineapple.
We just saying.
It's a hey, you click. It's a blessing anytime you're around.
No, but for real, shout out to Lovely though, because she went live earlier for the first time in a long time. Actually talking wrestling
on TikTok.
And yeah, she went live earlier. So
and I missed it.
I was shocked because I didn't think she was gonna do it. I really didn't. I didn't think she was gonna do it. She said she was gonna do it. I got busy at work earlier and couldn't watch, but I was trying to look at my phone and see but she had a shitload of people in there.
Oh, that's fire. I gotta turn my notifications on for her. So that way I love when she goes in and talks wrestling. Like Lovely's like she's definitely like one of those people like that has like keen insight. Her, Mika, Keeks, Lyric. It's a lot of women that I love listening.
A lot of dope black women that know
they know ball,
sports, all that shit. And I
listening
love
to them talk sports is dope. It's always dope when a woman can like fluently talk certain things that you wouldn't normally hear them talk. And it's a breath of fresh air a lot of times because they give insight that we don't even think about a lot of times.
Right. And I love their perspective. Because like you said, it's a lot of times just as a gender difference, they're going to look at things differently than what we look at things.
Mm-hmm.
But not just that, but there are different types of fans as well. Like, not just saying that they're women or whatever, but I'm just saying like they are different types of fans. Like some of them like certain specific things. And one of the things that I think, Sierra is another one, even though she said she
Oh yeah.
retired and shit. I knew it was one
Sierra
more.
talks Japanese like wrestling and
Bro,
just like
she knows
Joshi
Joshi
wrestling.
wrestling like
I don't.
hardcore, like the
I
history of it is
personally have
everything.
learned so much shit about Joshi just from listening to her
Yes,
talk. So for
yes,
me, that's always dope. We definitely got to bring a lot of our women friends on the pod. Mika
yeah,
being
for
the
sure.
first, because when football comes, Mika talk football. She know ball. She know ball.
Bro, I got a list. Already going. Like,
Girl, you ain't retiring. I'm see Jermaine. I got the comments up. I'm looking here, and here all at the
oh,
same time.
see, so that's
You ain't going nowhere.
I forgot you had the
Fuck you
comments up.
talking
I was like, you was like, there's a lot. I was like, what are you talking about? Then I looked at
about?
the screen. Oh, I forgot this nigga got the comments up. Bet.
Oh man, shout out to my dog. As we're talking about other people, I saw Black Marvel in here. What's up, Dwayne?
Oh,
What's up, Dwayne? Well, we can move him to PG from our Bulls. Move who? Who are you talking
I think he was talking about I don't know. I can't remember who we were talking about earlier. But we were
about? Don't show your age. Chill out. Chill.
hey, that you gotta be a real one to know them. That's like so that's where the hashtag silver teeth energy came from. So last night on hold up, let me scroll up so I can read it off of Van's thing so I can get it right. On Bulls in the China shop.
Not
Hey,
Bulls
nigga,
on
ain't no
parade.
shame in my game. I will fuck it up if I don't read it off the paper. I
Not
will
Bulls
Ron
on
Burgundy
parade.
some shit for real off of memory. Now, if I'm reading it off the screen, I'm not gonna do it, but off of memory, it'll come out how it come out. But no, like one of the videos we was watching, right? It was this lady was singing, and the song she was singing was, not really appropriate to sing around children. And there was a shitload of kids at the party that this lady was just karaoke singing. And they paying to the crowd of the little kids, and the kids was like one little boy, he's standing there, he looking like shocked, like what? Like eyes, mouth wide open, everything. And
Mm-hmm.
this other little girl was standing there like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, she got silver teeth energy. Like she bad as fuck.
I got you.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, she bad as fuck. And, and they started laughing, and I was like, bro, y'all know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about when I say silver teeth energy. That's why y'all laughing. So I don't know. It was on my mind this morning. That's why I made that tweet. I was like, a lot of y'all still have silver teeth energy as adults, and it shows.
Oh yeah, I know a few niggas that still got that for sure.
Love.
Love you too, love.
Yeah.
Always appreciate you for real. Like I had text the group yesterday. What was that today? No, it was yesterday. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, y'all know what I said. But there's a couple other people that's not in that chat, but like Lovely is one of them people. Like, I'm glad I've had the pleasure of meeting as far as online because we haven't met in person yet.
Yeah.
I gotta pop out the shows, man. I be doing too much.
Bro,
I
I'm
missed
waiting.
every
I'm waiting
Ashe
on
show.
something, but I'm almost for sure I'm gonna be in Vegas. I'm like pretty for certain. I just gotta wait on a couple more things, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be there. But
Is
I
all
got
right.
the
So
list
real quick,
and
if
everything. I just
you're
gotta.
from Serbia, is like Nikola like a common name or some shit?
Oh, Eastern European, hell yeah.
You got Nikola
Oh yeah.
Jokic, you got
Them,
Nikola Jovic, and then you
yeah.
got Nikola. What the fuck was his name? I just tweeted shit. Nikola Topic. Nikola
Bro,
is very
hold
common
up.
there, apparently.
Let me get that one. Bro, look, like this is the thing.
I didn't forget.
Oh, you got it?
I got you.
Oh
Go
no,
ahead.
he talking to me. Okay, wait a minute.
I like hugs still, especially. Never mind.
Oh shit, I missed Carter. Bro, how I missed Topich and Carter. I'm fucking up.
Dan Hurley. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of mad Dan Hurley turned us down. I don't know.
Bro, let me tell you something. The reason why I was upset about it is just like we talked about before. I think that he was a good coach short and long term for the Lakers. That's just me and my personal feel. I think that he was going to be a good answer for them short and long term. He has the personality and has been around a lot of top stars at a younger age. And has won back-to-back championships and whatnot. So he has the know-how how to manage people and personalities and whatnot.
Okay, got you. Bazales, got you. Yeah, you're right.
But
I like
he's young enough to go with that team too.
I feel like any coach that we were gonna get, it was gonna be a first-year coach. It was not gonna, because when you look at who was kind of out there, I didn't like who was out there. I'm not fond of JJ as far as being a first-year coach because he hasn't coached. I mean, he coached like a little middle school team, but you go from a middle school team to the NBA. He has an amazing mind. But I feel like when you're a first-year coach, and I've said this, can't remember if it was last week or the week before when we were talking about this, and it might have been last week. It's certain cities when it comes to sports, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, wherever, being a first-year coach can either really launch your career or really kill it super early. The Lakers is one of those places, being in LA. Dallas being a count. And look, of course, is nowadays you probably won't ever get a first-year head coach with the Cowboys. Not right now. Maybe when one of the sons takes over, but probably not like it used to be. No. The Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, even in college sports, but it's a little better in college sports a little bit, but in pro sports, those places, and I might be forgetting, like the Boston Celtics is another one. It's hard to go to a lot of these places.
Missoula is a first-time head coach. Because I don't think he may have been a head coach in college, but hey, what up, little homie?
Hi.
What's up?
All right, you got okay.
So I just sometimes I be thinking, man, like, oh, Lovely says she's a hugger. Look, I'm from New Orleans. Anybody like New Orleans, South Louisiana, that's how we greet people. You know what I'm saying? Like when I know he probably don't mind me telling the story, but I was down in New Orleans for some family shit, and I was just trying to get away from everybody. And Sloan and his wife, said, "Yeah, you come hang out, whatever." And I met Sloan and everything before, but that was the first time I met his wife, and she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she stuck her hand out. I said, "Nah, we hug." You know what I'm saying? That's just how we are or whatever. And like, I'll never forget, like when I bring people to meet like my family and like they meet them and they like, give people hugs and stuff like that. Or they like, we may kiss a woman on the cheek or something like that. Like, that's just how we were raised. That's how we greet. So that's just how it is. Now me, I'm different because I'm an asshole. I don't like motherfuckers like that. I probably don't like, I don't like I don't even like my own people and stuff sometimes. So if I'm not extra friendly like the rest of my family is, like, just know that that's me. That's not them. That's just how I am.
Lovely gives
sometimes I be, sometimes I be nice. I be nice, but like for the most part,
immaculate hugs, huh?
It's fine. I don't like y'all like that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Mika said Lovely gives immaculate hugs.
That's cool. She hugged me. She ain't. Never mind.
This guy. But yeah, like,
hey man, you know how like Lovely has her little segments on her pod that she had with fam. I see, this is why we can't have certain female guests, because then what we not about to do is get Keyz on camera folding at all. because it don't happen. So there's that.
Bruh. Nah, like I'll be all right on camera. You know what I'm saying? I'll be all right in person.
Nope.
But it's like it'd be like when I don't know, man. Like, nah, I don't fold. I don't know. I just don't. I just don't. Like I be, and I guess that's because like
you
when
said hi. Look,
what's up, dude?
Look, we sports.
You watching the draft?
Are you watching the draft? Okay. Say go Lakers. Go Lakers.
You not gonna say go Lakers?
Man, that's crazy. That's why you about to get put out. That's wild.
Hey, we got our draft correspondent in the building.
That's all right. We tell him one day we watching you. What? Unfocused. Jesus. The lazy eyes getting you today, boy.
Bro. He locked
eyes getting you, brother. Come on. This is how I tell him. NFL draft, NBA draft, MLB. Matter of fact, we might be getting drafted on all three.
Marvel says Bazulis might play point guard for them.
I don't know, because y'all got Zach LaVine and y'all just got Josh Giddey for
they still got Kobe White.
And you still got Kobe White. So you still got Zach LaVine. You just went out and got Josh Giddey, who will probably play. Giddey might play the 3, I would think. Probably put Giddey at the 3.
Yeah, he's definitely going to play
at
like
the 2. And then Kobe should be starting now. At this point, he should be. So
because Lonzo is still an unknown factor. Like, we don't know. And we just err on the side of caution and say he's not coming back. And if he should happen to come back and be able to contribute anything, okay, great. But let's just consider him a non-factor in everything right now.
Yeah.
Looking at that Bulls team, I really think that, you know, he could. I think the only way Bazelis could play some point for them, the Trailblazers just selected Bub Carrington, the guard from Pittsburgh.
I like that.
But here's the thing: like the only way I could see him playing point for them is if they go to like, let's say, like a bigger lineup, right? Like, let's say they want to go with but still, even
then he could play point on the second unit though, because even if Kobe starts, he's Kobe's backup. So or he could play the 2. He's one of them players that can go from like the 1 to the 2, even a little 3. So
because Bazelis is like he's a true wing, like at 6'9", you know, barely 200 pounds or whatever.
But the good thing about Euro players,
he got like a 7'2" wingspan or something crazy like that. It's something ridiculous.
But the good thing about Euro players, and we saw it with Wemby pre-draft last year, and we've seen a lot of it this rookie year with the Spurs, was like he can handle the ball like a guard.
Yes.
Pretty damn well, like a guard can. So
yes. And the thing that I like about like one of my favorite picks is Sarr from France, because I love that pick. After they showed his highlight thing, I was like, oh, okay, that's the guy that's kind of like the stretch 4-5 or whatever. And I was like, okay, now it's coming back, because I remember we had talked about it. It's got to be within the last few weeks. We may have even talked about it like a while back, and it may have not even been on the pod, but I remember we talked about those 2 guys, Riasher and Rissacher, I'm sorry, and Sarr, the 2 kids from France. And it was like a wing and a big, basically. And I was like, okay, who do you think Atlanta's going to pick after, you know, the draft lottery and everything else? So it had to have been within the last few weeks. But we talked about those kids like before. Like, okay, it's 2 players over there that's supposedly really good. That's all we really knew. It was a big and a wing. After the draft lottery, that's when we started seeing projections. And I think that's when we keyed in on those 2 kids. It was like, okay, who do you think Atlanta's going to take? Because they need both.
Yeah, and I think they covered it with their pick. Because while being a wing, he's still a very tall, very long kid that can go up there and get it. Same thing with Sarr as a big. those players in France don't play the same. The European players in general don't play the same as we do over here because your center is coming down shooting threes. If you watched Wemby from the year before, Wemby was coming down pulling up threes. He even did it a lot this season with San Antonio, which is crazy because if you know Pop and you know Pop's style of play, that
Wait,
don't
this
fucking
was
happen.
this was the thing. This was the thing. I remember that highlight of Wemby shooting that off that 1 foot jumper, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he pulls up, kind of crosses over, and like he give you that little shimmy, and then he goes off the 1 foot. Pop said he don't like that shit. He don't mind Wemby taking the threes as long as it's within the flow of the game and the offense and whatnot. But like
Him doing some dumb shit.
he don't like that 1 footer. He don't like that 1 foot jumper. My thing is, you 7'3", 7'4", with a good handle, and this damn near 8 foot or whatever wingspan. You don't need to do all of that.
Nah, not at all. You're already gonna shoot over everybody.
Thank you. The most they can do is get a hand in your face to try to obstruct your view. And you should already be used to that because there's shooting drills and apparatuses and stuff like that you can use to help you get used to having that hand in your face. You know, that obstructive view when somebody's trying to shoot over you or whatever. And like, I remember as a kid, when I would try to practice certain shots like that, they was always telling me, why are you doing that? You're taller than everybody. I said, yeah, I'm taller than y'all.
Right.
I'm not taller than everybody else.
That's how I used to feel. Like, because you know how high school was. If you was at least 6 foot and up, they was throwing you in the post like you was a center, and you get to college and you a guard and you ain't never handled the ball. That's why I'm like that. Coaches and teams nowadays are teaching these kids at 6'3", 6'4", 6'6", and up, like how to handle the rock, because when they get to college, they're guards, they're small forwards. They're gonna have the ball in their hand a lot more than they probably did in high school a lot of times, even as a center.
I'll never forget when I was in school. The high school I went to, you'll probably remember this kid. It was early 90s Indiana. Neil Reed, a guard at Indiana.
I do.
Okay, Neil Reed went to my high school. He graduated I think 4 years before I did. His senior year, I was at a different school in the same district. But no, I think his senior or my 8th grade year, I think he was a senior. Something like that. Anyway. He was the one who Bobby Knight choked, and he ended up leaving the school and transferring, going to Southern Miss. Another fun fact. Neil Reed was like 6'3", 6'4", I think, something like that. But he could shoot. The coach down there said, okay, cool, let Neil Reed shoot. A few years later, right? Dennis Gardier. I remember Dennis. Dennis was good. Dennis was real good. But no, I'm sorry. Neil Reed was listed at 6'1". But still, 6'1", whatever, right? Dennis was, I'll say probably about 6 foot, 6'1", same thing, whatever. Bro, tell me why he had Dennis in the post, because Dennis was like a stockier dude. But Dennis could shoot a little bit from the outside. He didn't want Dennis to do that. He wanted Dennis in the post. Fast forward a few years later, my other homeboy, Pat Turley, Pat comes there, and Pat like 6'7". But Pat got a nice little handle. You know what I'm saying? For a 6'7", 6'6", 6'7" dude. He kind of let Pat do what he wanted to do, but he really didn't cut Pat loose. Had he cut Pat loose, Pat would have been that dude coming out of New Orleans, because he was that fucking good. But he never really cut Pat loose. He had him in the post a lot. And he was still able to function, but he was one of them like 6'6", 6'7" dudes that you like, okay, he can do different things, but we need him in the post. Same thing happened to my fucking cousin, and this is why Damian ended up at Minnesota playing the post and didn't. He went to training camp that year. LeBron went to the Heat, but
okay.
Damian had like post skills. He was just like that long, lanky, kind of like the dude with the afro that played for Cleveland.
Oh,
Jared Allen, I think is his
yeah,
name.
Jared Allen. Yeah.
My cousin reminded me of him because he's like that long, lanky post player who looks like he's not strong, but is really strong and will block your shit and get 20 rebounds. Damian kind of played like that. But Damian ended up playing like a bunch of years in Australia. Like a couple of his kids was even born over there. You know what I'm saying? And now he's a successful high school coach back up in the Minnesota area. But you get those kind of players where you look at them and you don't think that they can play these positions, and they do great at it. And this is what I keep trying to tell people about the NBA, especially the way it's going. And I know we say we don't pay attention to college basketball and all this kind of stuff in the draft and everything else, but the way the game is changing and evolving, you cannot stick to point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. You can't stick to that shit no more.
Okay, hold on. Did we miss a trade? When did Rob Dillingham got traded to Minnesota?
Bro, like I can't keep up.
Hold on.
It's fucking wild. I got 7 new notifications.
Oh, here it is. The Spurs draft Rob Dillingham at number 8 and trade him to Minnesota for a 2031 unprotected first round pick and a protected 2030 pick swap. That's now okay. But my thing was why I would have kept.
I don't even see that. Where you see that
at? Bleacher Report.
Shit.
But I would have I would have kept him and put him with Stephon Castle, but I think they both are pretty much point guards. So
God damn it.
That's
something I forgot.
But I like that though. Rob Dillingham with Ant in the backcourt. Ooh.
Bro.
That's just as nasty for real.
Now wait a minute. Let's think about it like this. When we watched Minnesota against Dallas, right? What was their thing? They couldn't defend Kyrie and
yep. They had the bigs.
Right. You had the bigs and everything.
Ant was doing a lot of the ball work by himself.
Okay. I'm getting somewhere with this too. He was doing a lot of the ball handling by himself. And when you needed somebody else to create or something to get something going, you didn't really have that. He was the only facilitator and creator on the floor for Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. You still watching the draft?
He don't know what he's doing. He took a very long nap today, so
bro. But I'm saying though, like, so when you get another playmaker facilitator in there and it takes that burden off of him, like now he can play off the ball more. Now he can pull some of the attention of the defense away, because they'll have a guy on him and another guy looking at him, and then another guy in another spot, like keeping an eye on him. When you got guys cheating over and stuff like that on defense, and you have another ball handler out there on the floor, guys like Cat who spot up in that corner for that corner 3 because the big is sagging in the lane, waiting to get cutters and drivers. That's when you can get those stretch fours and guys on the wing, those open shots, those corner 3s, and the driving kicks on the wings and stuff like that.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. You got another player that can drive and kick. Yes. And not just that. You can have him drive and kick out to Ant, out to Cat, even to Gobert, because Gobert can hit the 3 too. So or even the jump shot. So that's the beauty
he's starting to look. I'm not gonna say he can hit it. I'm saying he's looking more comfortable taking those shots. I'll give him that. I'm not gonna give him like he can hit it. I'll say he's looking more comfortable taking those shots than what he used to. Because he used to look awkward as fuck on the perimeter.
So
he's starting to look more comfortable on offense on the perimeter.
Where does Philly go with this next pick? They don't go center. They're pretty good at forward and guard.
Shit.
Do you trade it or do you keep the pick? Because
hold up,
what do they really need? They're kind of set at all 5 starting positions at least.
Oh, that's what they need to get. They need to get Connect,
perimeter defender or floor spacer.
Bro, no, he can shoot too.
Oh, Dalton from Tennessee.
Replace Tobias Harris with that white boy from Tennessee.
Gotcha.
Promise.
And then the Lakers at the next pick. I think the Lakers need to go center. To be honest, I think Filipowski maybe from Duke.
Oh,
Because we're pretty, or the Baylor center, Missy. But we're pretty set. I ain't gonna say we set because it's
okay. Hold up. So, okay, I see what they're doing. Okay, so ESPN, what they have on their website, I'm looking at the draft cast. They have the best available and the best pick, the best fit. I'm sorry. So like they'll have like the top player on whoever's board that they're using, but then they'll also have the player that they think is the best fit for this team. The best available is Connect, but the best fit they say is Jacoby Walter, the guard from Baylor. I'm fine with either one because what they're gonna need is somebody else to handle the ball and kind of be that perimeter kind of playmaker or guard ball handler. Similar situation to what Ant is facing in Minnesota. Tyrese Maxey is almost like a man on an island by himself out there on the perimeter in Philly. So
that Maxey trade, them getting Maxey was amazing. Was an amazing.
He's
trade.
A restricted free agent, but you know they're gonna match any. If he signs an offer sheet with somebody else, Philly's gonna match it.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of are they gonna come off the money and give him the best offer off the rip, or are they gonna go through that process of him signing an offer sheet and then them matching it? That to me is the only question that I see with him going back to Philly. Is just how they're gonna do it. Them taking so long with this selection is making me think that there may be a trade.
That's what I'm starting to think too. That there's a trade looming with somebody. I like that they're stretching this out. The Knicks got 24 and 25. Huh.
Wait. This is either a trade or they're going back and forth on who to take at this pick.
And it could be between Connect and
them two. It could be them two players, but there's also McCain, the other guard from Duke, that's out there.
Yep.
I don't
you got the Silver, the forward. I don't think they need a forward though.
I don't think they need Furphy from Kansas, the
or
wing kind of player, guard, shooter kind of guy.
They definitely don't need a center unless because Filipowski. I think Filipowski would be a dope backup though. I don't think they don't. Who do they have once?
Hold up, let me pull up their.
So at this, you could also go center here just because you want to make sure you got backup help. You got to get a big man rest, and you got to make sure you got a viable person to come in when he needs rest.
Man, they got like, oh, okay, so they got Paul Reed, and I forgot they got Mo Bamba.
Oh, they do. I love Mo Bamba, bro. Not just
he got so much potential, but he's not fulfilling any of it.
I thought Orlando was the spot for him. Then he came out to LA, and I was hyped because I like him, but he stayed hurt. Then he left. He did the Dwight thing and left instead of staying, which he should have stayed. But also, I don't know if they even offered him.
Let's see.
So, perimeter defender, floor spacer. Which way we going? I think they're going Connect or Neck. You think so too? Okay. Jared McCain.
Wow. They went for the ball handler.
My TV's still catching up, but I'm guessing they went with the Baylor guard.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not a bad pick at all.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad pick or nothing like that. It's just. I mean, it makes sense if they feel like they're gonna keep Tobias Harris, and also if they feel like, you know what I'm saying, when you're looking at your guards, if you don't feel like Lowry or Payne or Melton or whatever is gonna be like, you want to add somebody to that mix. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a good guy to have, especially because Lowry's old and injured, and he can't move like he used to, nowhere near like he used
And I
to.
think that was their thinking. They went Jared McCain. Oh,
That's what I'm saying. Like I think this was
oh,
a move to add depth to the backcourt.
oh.
This was a move to add depth to the backcourt, and I can see where they're coming from with that. It makes sense.
No, it definitely does. Huh. Huh. That's definitely different. I mean,
Yeah,
they
he's
clearly saw
definitely.
something. They saw something that, because, I mean, I watched a lot of Duke this year, of course, because I am a Duke fan. So I like
Mhm.
Jared McCain. I definitely feel like a lot of those players at Duke should have stayed. I just think a lot of them, it's that transition from Coach K leaving out, and a lot of them decided to stay because of the school, not the coach
Mhm.
coming in. It's gonna be also with a lot of those freshmen Duke was bringing in. A lot of them, it was either transfer or go to the league. So
Yeah.
it literally was that was their options for real. So
Yeah. And
a
it's
couple
because you got
transferred
so many
out.
guys coming in, and you have guys on the roster that are steadily getting better and everything, and you want to find playing time for everybody. It's just a pain in the ass
It
to
is,
juggle
especially
those
when you have a
rosters.
strong freshman class that can easily start, that should be starting. And then you have like sophomores that are like, oh, you had an amazing freshman year. You started. How do I don't feel right benching you. And it's like, but this guy coming in he has to start like freshman year.
I'll never forget University of Texas. They had Major Applewhite, and they were recruiting and got Chris Sims. And I remember that was the biggest controversy at that time was, do you play Sims or do you play Applewhite? And it was a little bit of it was a tough spot for them to be in, because like Applewhite was playing good, but Sims is like the big hot shot recruit. So they end up playing Applewhite, I think, that first year, and then the next year, and Sims played some, and then the next year Sims took over or whatever. But there was always that cloud hanging over it, and this is what you get when you get these kind of situations where you get the overlapping of the young gun coming in and the old vet on his way out, pretty much, but he still has something left in the tank or something left to prove. So a lot of the times you may get that, but I think because, and we've talked about this, how the NBA draft is based off of so much potential instead of what we know in a known quantity that we know, okay, yes, we can get, we know what we're getting when we draft this guy. It's based off of what you can make that guy, not what that guy is a lot of the times. And
It's gonna be an interesting pick because I think the Lakers definitely need 3-point shooting for sure. Shooting is our weakness.
and connect or
Big men. But I go back to another Duke player. Filipowski fills all of that. He's a big man and he shoots the three very well.
mm-hmm.
So that one's tough. But we need a ball handler and perimeter shooting. So, but it goes back. Apparently, JJ likes who he picked, and we talked about this last week that the Lakers had to. It was funny that the day after the pod when we said, and what I said, we had to lock in our coach before this draft.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yep,
felt like,
you were serious about that. I remember you was
yes,
dead
because I
serious
really felt
about that.
like no, we have to lock in.
Oh,
But
they taking connect. I just saw the tweet.
but you know what I like though is that JJ, who is the you would think he would have went Duke. I think he would have went McCain if they would have went Connect. He definitely would have drafted Duke. But the great thing is he's gonna pay attention to shooter. I'm pretty sure he took this last week, like really studying if he already hadn't, as far as like these players in the draft. So I'm okay with anybody he picks at this point.
Well, I won't say he would have for sure went McCain had McCain been there.
He would have went shooter for sure though.
He definitely would have went shooter. Definitely
The only reason I think McCain, not just the Duke connection, but if Connect would have went with the last pick to Philly, I think McCain still being here at 17 would have been the best pick. Just again because we need the perimeter shooting.
In the perimeter defense too, because he's a pretty decent perimeter defender. Like
yeah, I
we
like
can't
this
sleep
pick.
on McCain's defense either.
And then
I mean, he's
Connect
not like a
and you put
lockdown like defender at that guard position at 6'2", like like one of those defensive dogs or whatever, like a Avery Bradley or somebody like that, or like a Marcus Smart or a Drew Holiday. But he's a good enough defender at that 6'2", like point guard, lead guard type of position. So,
I like putting him with Austin Reeves too. Boy, I think this next year of Austin Reeves is going to be amazing because he can shoot the ball, he can drive, he can do a lot. I think JJ is going to help him and the staff because I'm still interested to see the staff that he's going to put around himself as a first year coach.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see.
That's what I'm most interested to see is like what type of staff is he going to put around himself. As far as like basketball minds going forward. I mean, we know if LeBron, not even if LeBron pretty much is going to re-sign, but LeBron's going to be a player coach. Like I think that's pretty much a given at that point.
Okay, so Orlando's on the clock. They got Jacoby Walter as best available and forward Tristan Da Silva from Colorado as best fit.
I think they need to go center though. That's the crazy part because I think they're good at guard and forward.
Bro, that like when you look at Orlando right now, let me pull up their depth chart so I can be prepared. You got Wendell Carter Jr., Paulo Banchero, Moritz Wagner, and Jonathan Isaac as your top four bigs.
They do. I keep forgetting about Moritz Wagner.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. I'm like, they don't really need to go big. I think they also need to go guard, but they're pretty good at guard too. So it's like
because you got
Orlando this year was probably one of
you got Fulton Anthony off the bench, and you also have Anthony Black at the.
And to be honest, this was probably Orlando's best year in a very long time.
Yeah, they won the Southeast Division. They were 47-35.
Yeah, like this was their best year in a very long time. So
yeah, like I just they can go either way.
I think anybody they draft here is gonna definitely be second unit. Maybe can work their way into a starter, but usually once you get to like pick 16, 17 and up, it's playoff teams and stuff like that. So it's like most of the time it's not really a starter that they're drafting. They're drafting bench depth now. So especially with the NBA draft. The NBA draft is only 2 rounds. So it's not like you getting 3, 4. I still like the idea of adding that third round. Most of the time, if you're a third round pick, you're more or less like summer league and you can make the roster. But third round to me, you're auditioning for another team in a sense. Like you're getting drafted. You still, you get the allure of draft night and all of that.
And it could also be some like European talent that may put their name in the draft or whatever.
Because they still got those.
For
I
a
was
couple
about to
years.
say they still got those stash players that they doing like they used to.
Exactly.
Remember, it took Ricky Rubio a long time to come over.
No,
Ricky got drafted
was,
and he ain't come for like another 2-3 years.
I can't remember. I think he came over.
Did he come right away? I thought Ricky.
I think he came right away. There was a couple more though that waited a while. I know the Rockets had a guard, like a Greek dude. I can't remember his name though. He took a while before he came over. Luis Scola, who used to play for the Rockets, I think he was originally a draft pick of the Spurs.
He was. He originally was a Spur. I remember.
I'm trying to think of Tony Kukoc back in the day with the Bulls.
Was he a draft stash?
Yeah, he was another guy that took a while before he came over.
Okay.
Fucking Sabonis, I want to say, was a draft stash that took a while before he came over.
They got Tristan Da Silva from Colorado. Okay.
Yeah, Arvidas, the older one or whatever.
Oh, the father.
Yeah, I want to say he was another guy that took like forever to come over.
Colorado with the picks in the top 20, 2 of them. That's nice. That whole culture at Colorado has changed, though. Not just with the football team, but it's really trickled down to the women's basketball, to the men's basketball. Like, it's dope to see. And I don't know if it's the Deion effect. You know, I'm gonna guess it possibly is, because I honestly didn't pay attention to Colorado as far as women's. I know the women's basketball team was dope already. Because I did peep them in the tournament.
Yeah, those girls were already good.
Yeah, so they didn't. I ain't gonna say they didn't fully benefit from the effect too much because they were already lit. But I feel like the men's team, just the culture around the entire like campus for all sports, went up because of the football team and with the foot like that the eyes that were on the school as a whole.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that, and I hope it keeps going forward, because like I said, 2 picks in the top 20 in the NBA draft is dope from a school like Colorado.
Yeah, because they're not known.
Hasn't really been known for basketball. Yeah. So that says a whole lot about what they've been doing.
Oh, for sure. I love when I see programs like that are on the rise, that are coming up.
Because because you said with the football team getting all that attention, it's like, even as a basketball player, it's like, damn, I low key kind of want to go here now. Like, I'm trying to hang with Coach Prime, like football team or not. I'm trying to hang with his kids, man. It's lit up here. They got stars coming up here. They got Boss Man D-Lo shooting music videos up here. Like, I'm trying to
wait. When you look at that campus and you look at the views, the mountains, and all of that kind of stuff, and Colorado is also, let's not get it twisted. Colorado has been a top party school in college
for a very long time.
The 80s, 90s, whatever. So, like, let's not get it twisted. They had a nice environment and everything way before all this other shit happened. You just adding to the aura of the school that the school already had in and of itself. When you add Deion and the football program, and then you see the women's basketball program, and now the men's basketball program, like you just had 2 picks in the top 20 of the NBA draft. Like, what other school can really say that?
Other than the normal schools who do it every year, UNC's, Dukes, stuff like that. Before a program for Colorado who hasn't been known for basketball probably forever, if ever at all.
Just this year, we got UConn and Kentucky.
Yep, they had 2,
and
France had 2.
Colorado and Duke. No, wait. Hold up. Did we have 2 Dukes?
I think McCain's the only one so far. I think Jared McCain's the only one.
Yeah, that was it. My bad. It was just, it's Kentucky, UConn, Colorado, and I mean, if we're gonna say France, they had 3 players, but yeah, multiple people picked in the top 20 so far. And like you said, Colorado is not one of those schools where you traditionally think that you're going to get like a lottery pick, much less two guys in the top 20 in the NBA draft. Now, if we were saying the NFL draft, oh yeah, they've had that done before.
Right, that's normal for
That's a
schools like
regular
that.
occurrence for them to have guys drafted, and drafted high in the NFL draft. But NBA, the last time I remember a player from Colorado going in the first round, period, was Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey with the Colorado?
That's the last one I can remember. It may be somebody
Oh.
else that I'm forgetting, but that's the last one I personally remember going in the first round. Yeah, Chauncey was definitely from Colorado because I remember my uncle who lived up there. Shout out to him. He retired too. Like he'd be up there chilling and stuff, playing with his grandkids and everything. Like, but nah, I remember one time he told me, he was like, "Hey, watch out for this kid. Watch out for this kid." I was like, "All right, bet." This was like what, 92, 93, 94, 95, something like that. It was somewhere like early 90s, something like that. He's like, "Hey, watch out for this dude." I was like, "All right, bet." And I'm looking and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? He got some skill and stuff. And when he got to Boston, I was like, all right, let's see what he's gonna do. And I was like, man, I don't know. But it wasn't until he got to Detroit and he was a little bit older, a little bit more mature, worked on his game and stuff like that. That's when he really flourished. But I don't know, man. I think those kids are gonna do well though, because they're not like they're not and the Silva is in a position where he's not gonna be counted on heavily. If he comes in the camp and he blows it up and Orlando is like, oh, okay, we got something here, he'll work his way into the rotation there. But then you got to think about it. You're going to be fighting with playing time between the Gary Harris and Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Cole Anthony, Joe Ingles, Jonathan Isaac, and Markelle Fultz. A lot of those guys on that,
But honestly, I think Joe Ingles is on his way out. Because bringing in someone like De Silva is
that could make them make a decision on somebody like that.
And I believe Joe Ingles is a free agent.
Is he a free agent? Let me hold up.
I believe so.
Let's see.
So,
okay, no, he has a club option.
But make a draft pick like this.
Now, it don't say when they have to do those options. The 29th.
Most of the time,
it says 29th. 29th.
Yeah,
my bad.
Usually it's right after the draft.
Yeah.
Sometimes
like I kind of thought that, but I wasn't sure, and I kept like looking at the page, and I'm like, I know it's gonna be somewhere on here. All I have to do is just scroll down just a little bit, and it was right there. Deadline is the 29th, and that is, I believe, Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Saturday. Yes. Okay, so they have till Saturday to make that decision on Ingles.
Toronto's pick is in. Let's see where they're
Jacoby
going.
Walter, the guard from Baylor.
Okay, it's a nice pick. These young brothers with these suits get better and better every year, man. I tell you, that jacket is fire. Nice little purple.
Bro, did you see Ron Holland II?
Which one was
Detroit
his?
Drafted? The one Detroit drafted.
I'm trying to remember what he had on.
Looked like it was like blinged out. His whole jacket.
He didn't have a Chrome Hearts jacket with the crosses on it. That was somebody else had that on tonight.
No, somebody else. Ron Hollins was like a dark
black.
Like a black.
It was like black with glitter or something like that. Or just
it
sparkles.
Like, bro, it actually looked like it was like glass or something, or like something.
Okay, yeah, I do remember his
like
jacket.
That, like on his shit.
I do remember.
Oh, what up, Sloan? I ain't even see your comment down in there, bro.
That Chrome Hearts jacket the one young man had on was dope though. I can't remember who had it on, but
yeah. They had a bunch of like De Silva just came in and he had the two-tone shit where like it looked like a rally stripe suit, basically. Like, you know how a car had rally stripes? Mm-hmm. That's what the suit looked like.
I'll be interested. Draft might be dope for the NFL and NBA because them young men like really put it on. The WNBA draft was pretty lit this year for the girls too.
Bruh. Them girls be bro.
Hey, bro, Paige Bachner had the best outfit and won't even be drafted.
Bruh,
That's the crazy shit. So I'm like, I know she gonna go crazy next year.
This is how I know
fit gonna be lit.
This is another metric that I've been looking at when we talk about the upswing in the popularity of women's basketball, right? The amount of pregame outfit stuff I see on social media for the WNBA.
Right, because and I feel like they've done it, they've been doing it. So, and maybe I just ain't paid attention.
They've been doing it, but not to this extent, not to this level. Nowhere near.
Because it's like I definitely been paying attention a lot more this year. And it's like the crazy thing about women's basketball is more or less that like you're gonna like same thing, like women look at men's sports because they like the way the men look. Same thing with women's sports. I love the way they play. I'm definitely watching, but pregame, I'm like, damn, she fine as hell. Like, old girl from Chicago is on everybody's radar now. And then you found out Jaylen Brown knocking her down. So we think. But because I thought I remember the reports coming out saying he was with Bernice Burgos, and I'm like, okay, draft. They win the championship. I see who there.
Right.
Jason Tatum is the man, though. This man then got Ella May knocked up. I was like, I didn't even know they've been together 5 years. That was the other crazy part to find out.
The craziest thing was
stop.
Not even that. I want to say right around the time he was starting to mess with her, or right before he was messing with her. That was when he had his son.
Mm-hmm.
But he had two chicks at the same time.
Wow.
And they knew about each other.
Because his son is about 6, like 6, 7?
He's like 6, 7, something like that. But like I remember at that time, he had like two chicks at the same time. And one of them, the one that ended up getting pregnant, it was some craziness about it. But anyway, he had two at the same time. Well, but Cleveland up next. Let me get this tweet ready so I can be ready when it comes. But the thing that, like you were saying about, we were talking about the getting back to the original topic about the fashion and whatnot before the games and everything. Like they took it to a different level, and now these ladies and these guys too, they're getting like sponsorships and brand deals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
In different endorsements and stuff.
What I've noticed with the WNBA is like for different home games, they've been like a lot of their clothes have been sponsored by certain brands.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pay attention to like a lot of their walk-in clothes, they're all wearing the same like designer. So it'll be like, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like I know I seen Chicago and LA doing it. Indiana's done it where the entire team is like sponsored by this brand, and they all have on outfits that were made by that designer or brand or whatever. So usually it's something where the WNBA has a partnership with that brand or the NBA or something like that, and it trickles down to them too. So look, you about to go to bed. You're doing a lot.
Bruh.
About to send you with your mama.
Ja posted that Rush Hour clip when Chris Tucker see that big Asian dude when he opened up that door.
Look, that nigga like Zach Edey. Y'all went and got me a big man. Look, he like it's time to eat. Let's go.
Because remember, they traded Steven Adams to the Rockets, even though he was injured.
Oh man. Steven Adams is that guy, man.
Steven Adams is the kind of guy that you want on your team because he's not just like a typical goon enforcer. He's genuinely a good dude, but he don't play that shit with his teammates. Like
Nah,
those goons or enforcers, they're like just natural assholes.
If you about to get into a fight, that's the guy you want in the trenches with you.
Thank you. Exactly. And so that's the kind of guy that he is. And when you lose that, you not only lose part of the heart and soul of your team or whatever, but you lose like a great big who's a rebounder, defender, a rim protector, and loves doing his job. Some of these guys are just big and do their job just because it pays the bills. They don't really like it, but you can tell he really likes doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who Cleveland got. Jalen Tyson.
It's always them 1 or 2 picks where we be like, huh?
You gotta step back a little bit quicker than that, buddy. Oh, it's his shot. It's his shot. He's gonna get a lot of shots blocked because his shot it looks kind of. If it's slow in slow motion, it's slow and fast in regular speed. He got one of them shots where it looked like he got to load it up first. Like, not really like loaded up, but like it's like a really slow, motion. You got to have a quicker release than that, man. If you don't have just like the quickness on that step back or that side move or whatever, or that pull up or the lift to just get above people and you 6'5" or whatever.
So tomorrow night we get Angel Reese versus Asia Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be Vegas and Chicago gonna be a good ass game.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a good game tomorrow night. I'm definitely
more interesting is I want to see if they put Cardoso on Wilson.
It depends because Cardoso now, as I'm watching her in the league more now, she's better back to the basket and down low than she is away from the ball. Where Angel is a little better on the perimeter and down low, but Cardoso is in. So I would probably say Angel is probably going to be on Asia. That would be the smarter move. Interesting to see how they go with it, but that would be at least to me, that would be the move.
Now, I see what you're saying with that one. I really do. But I'm just wondering, like, because Asia does a lot of her damage in the post. She does play on both the perimeter and the post, but I think you may be right on that one. Because I thought the better matchup would be Cardoso because Cardoso is, a bigger, stronger girl, or she's taller. I ain't gonna necessarily say she's stronger, but she's definitely a taller, bigger frame girl. But yeah, you're right. That's gonna be interesting to see how they defend her tomorrow night.
And I'm glad it's on a Thursday because ain't shit else on. So I can lock in and watch that because don't shit be on Thursdays.
Exactly. Like, yeah, that'll be real good. Now the Pelicans. What does the ticker say for the Pelicans? Best available is Johnny Furphy from Kansas.
I think
best fit Keyshawn George from Miami.
I think they need to go guard. You pay attention to New Orleans a little more than I have, but I feel like they need to go guard. 49 and 33 finished. It's crazy. 49 and 33 was 7th in the West, but that would have been like what 5th in the East.
Bruh, that would have put you damn near 3rd.
Which is correct. But as we've said, when they add Seattle and Vegas, Memphis and New Orleans are the two teams that are pretty much the only
third place team in the East this year was Milwaukee, 49 and 33.
Look at that. So if I'm New Orleans, I'm like, yeah, y'all need to go on. Hey, we're volunteering to leave the West first. I would volunteer to leave the West first.
Hey, bro, they need to get Furphy. Who's the shoot? Well, who? Wait,
Is it Ferk? They still got Ferkman Court. I can't.
they got the center from Baylor, the African kid.
Ooh, Missy.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. That's a great.
Well,
pick,
when you
actually.
think about it, Jonas Valanciunas is the center, but his backup was Larry Nance Jr.
Which is crazy because Larry Nance is like 6'8", 6'9". So
And wait, Zion's backup was Herb Jones, who's also your starting 3-man, your starting sport, your other starting.
So they
sport.
needed depth at the 4 or 5. So that's a good pick. Missy is a good pick. I've watched a little of him this year. The little of men's college basketball that I have watched, I can't admit that I haven't.
It's some good. It looks like he's a good rim protector. And you know, bigs these days, bro, like they looking for you to protect the rim, rebound, and if you can shoot, great. But they're looking for you to protect the rim and rebound.
Old school big man. Like, let's get back to
right.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm still traditional when it comes to my center. I don't want my center shooting threes. If you can hit a jump shot, great. I'm cool with that. But I don't need my center at the 3-point line. Like, back to the basket, like from Cameroon. But yeah, back to the basket, Shaq style. Like, that's Embiid is probably one of the last ones. Him and Jokic. Yeah, him and Joker are pretty much, to me, the last. Capella a little bit, but Capella, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the injuries, that affected him. It's one thing about an African boy. He going to have everybody at that draft. All 100 brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, they all in the house.
It'd be Africans, Polynesians. And then like your real
because Alyssa Pilley was
your real down south black folks.
Alyssa Pilley was deep at the draft. But it's different when you opt not to go to the draft and you have your own draft party. That's when you really see who house be lit or wherever they doing it at.
Yeah.
So
bro, the Saints first round pick that offensive line, I think he's from Oregon State, if I'm not mistaken. Big Samoan kid. Bro, he had a draft party it was about 100, 150, 200 people in there.
Like I said, Alyssa Pilley had about 20 people at the draft with her.
Bro, it was like in a hall or something. Like, you know how you have a little reception hall or something like that, like at a church. It was in something like that. Because he's at a table. And then when the camera kind of zooms out or switches the view just a little bit, you see nothing but a sea of people behind it. Yeah, it's dope to see that kind of stuff, man. Especially when these kids, it's a bunch of people that be at the house with them. Because if you're gonna have some at your house, just me personally, I don't like people. And I definitely don't like people at my house. So if I'm gonna do something at my house, it's gonna be people that I want to have at my house for something that I'm wanting to celebrate or whatever. So, for you to have that many people that's there with you or whatever on that special day,
it's always amazing.
At somebody's house, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. Interesting to see what Phoenix does here. This is a pick where Phoenix is pretty much just going see another 49 and 33, 6 in the West would have been 3rd in the East. That tells you how deep the West is, first off. That how deep the West is and how easy the East is.
Bro, it's so crazy.
But I feel like it's always been like that for years. Where the East has been like easy and the West is where the it flip flops sometimes, but
I'll say it started like that kind of when it was 80s. Shifting from the Bulls to the Lakers.
You think so?
That late 90s, early 2000s. That's when it really shifted because then you had
the Kings.
You had Shaq go from Orlando to LA.
Yeah, then you had the Kings were lit because
in
Vladdy went out
Sacramento.
when Vladdy went out to Sacramento.
And then Vladdy went out there. Then you had
Um,
Portland.
Portland was lit. Who were they lit at that
Um,
time?
it was the Jailblazers. Remember, they was battling the Lakers and the Kings.
What's up, Dre? What's up?
Oh, man,
Who else
Bro, I
was
thought this dude to be asleep because he posted a picture like he was driving. I can't remember where he was driving at. Because he drive trucks.
okay?
Somewhere early in the morning. I'm like, this dude way out here, and it's like 6 in the morning. You already way out there on the road. But nah, like it was Portland, Sacramento, the Lakers,
the Young Suns, because that was they were still young at the time, but they were competing.
Yes,
Steve Nash and all them.
Yes, it was National. No, the Young Mavericks too.
Yeah, the Mavs had the West was pretty deep at that time.
Remember, because I'm thinking back, and I'm trying to think of like all those teams in that era.
Seattle really wasn't competing for real back then.
No, San Antonio was still
San Antonio for sure.
I don't know how we forgot
Houston?
them with Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony Parker.
Nah, Houston really won.
Oh, Louisiana border. Okay, that's right. It was the Louisiana border. Okay, I knew it was.
The West was pretty deep then because the East was pretty much the Bulls, and then that transition from the Bulls, it was like it was nothing Bulls, for years.
And then you had
the Sixers were stepping up.
The Pistons, you had AI in Philly.
The Pistons.
Had Detroit put together a few teams.
Washington was pretty lit back then too, like the early 2000s.
Oh, wait, because that's when you had Rip and
before Rip went to Detroit.
Who was he there with it was Rip and Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah.
Agent Zero. He was another guy that came through there. He was
Orlando
the one that really
was
put Washington. Sorry, put Washington.
Orlando was lit.
Deron Holmes II from Dayton, another big.
Okay.
Well, when they got rid of Ayton, they never really replaced him. To me,
who the Suns? They didn't. So the thing with Ayton is they can actually go back and get Ayton because with Portland drafting the center, it's either and they drafted the center at 7. So it's like Ayton is at that place, that weird place right now. So it's like Nuggets receive 2024 22nd overall pick. Suns are going to get 2024 first round pick 28th. So this pick is going. So they pick somebody, but the person is going to Denver. So Deron Holmes is actually going to go to Denver. Now that's interesting. You know what pissed me off in 2K as we're watching all this and we're just talking here. I'm playing NBA 2K. I go through my GM mode, doing my thing with the Lakers. I couldn't re-sign LeBron. I was trying to get this man the max, super max of maxes. He went to Denver. I was like, you bitch made nigga. Why would you go to Denver? That shit actually pissed me off. I wouldn't even play them. I was like simulating it because on 2K it's so dope. You can pick who wins the game without even playing it. Every time we played Denver, I made sure we won.
Bro, I ain't gonna say they reached on Edie where they drafted him at.
I don't think so. I think that was perfect for them.
Number 9. Like I'm not gonna now if they would have did that, like let's say if they would have made that trade with the Rockets and got 3 and would have drafted Edie at 3.
Yeah,
that I would say you kind of reached.
But getting him at 9 want to reach, and it was a position that they needed to address.
Exactly.
I think if they didn't take Edie at 9, he would have been gone like anywhere else. He was a clear first round pick. So
he was definitely a first rounder.
Not much, Sierra. We just we're live watching the draft this week. We got a couple, nothing too deep in sports to talk about. A little boxing we're gonna get to at the very end, but you haven't missed anything, dog. Just live watching the draft this episode, shooting the shit, kicking the kick,
Hey,
We got co-hosts in the building with us, so
My dog. My dog. Yeah, man. But like
it's been an interesting first round. Like I said, I don't think anybody's reached with who they've picked up so far. I think everybody has made sound decisions as far as locking in their bench more than their starters. Because, like we said, from picks, I want to say like 15, 16 on, everybody pretty much has their starting lineups locked. This is more like starting to like shore and lock up your bench now. So maybe I don't see it. He's gonna be singled out on the wing and exploited in my book. But let's see what happens on the court. I think he's gonna be a good big in the post, especially in the West. It's about, even though we see who came out of the West this year, Denver and Minnesota to me are still the strongest teams in the West. I think Dallas just caught everybody slipping this year. That's it. At least that's how I see it. They caught a lot of people and teams slipping. I still think Minnesota and Denver are the strongest teams in the West. You got to have the bigs to contend with both of them. Definitely with Minnesota having Twin Towers, and then having Joker in Denver. You got it. You need big men. You need bodies to throw at him to get him in foul trouble. So I think Zach Edey is perfect for that for Memphis. So I don't think they reached. I can see what you're saying, but
Zach Edey is gonna have to get better with moving his feet on the perimeter.
Definitely
footwork on the perimeter. Try to take advantage of him, like you said.
Because again, those big men that I named are great on the perimeter. Also, they can get from the three to the hole with no problem. All three of them. It's not just, you know what I mean? They're not just back to the basket, down low, back you down. Like, they all have great first steps from the 3-point to get from the three to the bucket. Two more than three, but
yeah. The bottom line is you got to have at least some sort of defender, some sort of body that you can place in front of these guys. And you also want to make sure you protect the rim. Because unfortunately in today's game, it's more perimeter wing guard oriented than it is, having a big or a traditional big or whatever. So a lot of the times you seeing teams putting guys out on the court where all five guys can handle the ball and drive to the basket. So you need a rim protector on the court at some point in the game, if not half of the game or so, at least half of the game or so. So you need these kind of players on the court. What kind of player you get at that big position? Is it a rim runner who can catch lobs and kind of semi-athletic? Or is it a, big, kind of stocky tree trunk kind of guy like a Zach Edey? But I mean, you got guys that look like big tree trunks like Joker and Embiid that can run point center, as a certain kind of position. So the bigs have evolved, the game has evolved, and that's another reason why I say basketball is just positionless now. Similar to like some of the quote unquote athletes or X factors that you see in football. You got guys like a Debo Samuel who can play slot, who can play out wide, and he also plays out of the backfield. Tyreek Hill has done some of that. You got different guys in the league. Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, for God's sake. One of the best all-around running backs in the game right now. Like, you got guys that don't really fit a position. And then you got guys like these tight ends like Kittle, Kelsey, Komet, and others. And they're tight ends, but you can place them out wide. You can line them up in the slot as well.
Most of them can step out to the slot in a four wide. So,
bruh, like,
I love clinging. That was what we were just talking about. I love clinging to Portland because, but it does put DeAndre Ayton at a point where it's either, hey, we got your replacement if you ain't doing what we need you to do this year, or he's already on his way out. It's one or the other. So,
Yeah, so there's just that was a good fit for them to get for that young team is get like a stretch five who can kind of anchor your defense a little bit, but who can also kind of have a little back to the basket game and can step out and shoot the three. So I like what they did with that pick. That was a great pick for them. Kind of trying to create more balance is what I see. Like they're not just loading up on wings and perimeter guys. You know, you got to create some sort of balance. So Klingon was a real good pick for them. I like
Interesting to
him
see
in the
what
draft.
Milwaukee's about to do.
That was a reach.
Hmm.
Guy was ranked they say number 47th ranked recruit in 2023. My bad. I thought it was a 47th ranked prospect in this draft.
Okay, but where did he play at? It just say United States.
I think he played like G
Is
League.
that it might be. He is that Jalen Green with him?
Nah, this was last year.
No. I was sitting it looked like that was Jalen Green that was sitting up there with him.
Oh.
Okay. Young boy.
Yeah, that was one of the G League teams.
Okay.
I'm not sure who it was.
But usually they say like if they play for like one of the G League teams, his just say United States. Like he a foreigner or something. AJ Johnson in Milwaukee, they said Fresno.
Let me look it up right quick.
He played in Hungary, I think. Fresno State. Yeah, because it just say usually it'll say the school or whatever. His just say like right there, yeah, it just say United States. So he might have had to sit out a year.
He played in Australia.
Ah, okay. So he's just like Sar. Because Sar played in Australia last year. I wonder if they want the Australia League has been growing a lot too, though.
Yeah. And I didn't like when my cousin was over there all them years ago, I just thought, it's a pretty decent league, overseas or whatever. I didn't know like how I knew the competition was good. I didn't know how good it was to like produce players and stuff until like a couple years after that. And I started like, wait a minute.
A lot of those leagues are stepping up big though.
Decent players that have passed through that league.
China has a pretty dope league.
Yes.
Italy, of course, Germany.
Greece, I think, also has one.
Greece has one in South in is it Africa? Africa or is South Africa? One of them has a really, I think it's South Africa has the better league because that's the one. That's where Dwayne Wade's son's at is in South Africa.
Yeah.
I think South Africa has the better league. It's interesting. This Knicks trade is interesting because all they doing is picking what they just did trade wise. They're pretty much just picking up bench depth. But again, everybody from this point on, and even in the second round tomorrow night, is pretty much going to be bench depth. Are you surprised? And for you guys in the listeners right now, is anybody surprised that young Bronny hasn't been drafted yet?
Nope. Not surprised at all.
None. I think he might go. He might, and it's a strong might go in the second round tomorrow.
But he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go second round for sure. Cause matter of fact, hold up. Let me pull. What am I looking for? Okay, here we go. I'm looking for the. Where is it? No, I want to find the. Here we go. It was.
Nah, Bronny's not what we needed.
Somebody towards the back end of the second round or whatever. It was like somebody in the 50s or whatever said that they would take him. I can't remember what team it was. Yeah. I just remember it was some team in the 50s.
If he makes the roster,
I remember it said like they would take him with that pick.
I feel like if he makes a roster, it's based off his name. Not saying he's not talented enough, because he's definitely talented. He's just an undersized for different positions. He's an undersized 3, he's an undersized 2, and he doesn't handle the ball well enough to be a 1.
Mhm.
So he reminds me a little bit of Jello. Like, they're great. They're really talented. They have it, but they don't have it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
think Jello, which is crazy, is the third best in the family, but at sometimes he's been the second best. And up until like the last like maybe 3 years, he really was the first. Because honestly, for a long time, Jello was better than Lonzo. And whatchamacallit was just too young.
No,
Melo.
Dre, I actually think it was Dallas with the last pick of the second round said they would take him.
He'd be a good fit in Dallas, especially
I
at
want to
guard.
say it was Dallas at 58, if I'm not mistaken. I just thought that there was a couple more picks in that round. But I want to say it was Dallas at 58. I just remember it was in the 50s. Oh, it says the Wizards have traded with the Knicks to get this pick.
Oh, interesting. Well, the Knicks have picks 24 and 25, so I could see them giving up 1 to get more picks or like players or
Because if
something
you
like
think
that.
about it, depending on the way your draft board is set up, one of the guys that you really wanted with one of those 2 picks is going to be there with that second pick.
And if I remember, they actually had 3 in the first round because they picked.
Give me a second. Let me go back
right
to
before
this
because the
page.
tickers at the bottom, but
No, they just have 24 and 25, and it's
okay.
Keyshawn George from Miami is the pick.
So he's going to Washington. Not a bad pick for them because they need guard help. Also, they kind of Washington in a sense need everything. It ain't too much they don't need. They should have took Bronny. Hell, they need star power. Shit, sell tickets. The hell,
bro, they need everything. It's like, God dang, like what don't y'all need? Like
they
you know what I'm
really are in rebuild for real. That might be where my two. You know what? That might be where I go on my 2K team. I think I'm gonna do a center.
Oh, that was him that was just sitting there dribbling the ball while he was sitting in the seat.
That would be me on draft night. I'm just sitting there, just.
Bro, I can't like just sit there and sit still.
I couldn't either. I even on the pod, I don't think any of y'all really pay attention. I'm always moving and fidgeting. I have ADHD for real.
I can't sit still, and like I have
even in my house.
For whatever reason, I have to like snack or drink something. Like I don't know why. It just
I got this thing looking out the window all the time,
bruh. And then the worst part was last night.
He looks young. Keyshawn George looks young as shit. Nigga look like don't he look like he like 15 or something still?
Bro, he do.
Look how young he looks in the face.
He barely got that pencil thin mustache on his face.
Right. He don't even look like he could be 18 or 19. Like,
nah.
That's crazy. Oh, he's from Switzerland. Attended high school in France. He's from Switzerland. Okay.
I want to say he's like 6'6" or so, 6'7".
Yeah, he looks like he's pretty big. Okay.
Hold up, let me pull it up while I'm sitting here in front of the whole fucking computer with everything, all the tabs open and everything.
Right, Swiss-born player in the NBA history. Huh.
Yeah, 6'7". That's
with a name like that. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was a Negroid. I mean, he is, but I thought he was a,
one of us.
One of us.
Yeah.
He just looked like one of us, but he ain't from over here. Okay.
Yeah.
How tall is the commissioner?
Is the commissioner like 6'3"? This is the thing that really messes you up about where he's from in high school and all of that. His name.
Right. That's what got it for me. His name is Keyshawn George. Like, if that ain't the most Georgia, Alabama, New Orleans, down south, whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
Hood name, Keyshawn.
He like super light skinned with the curly butt. So he could be from Cali. He could be one of them Cali mixed dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they pretty liberal out there. It's like, mixed couples been making babies out there. So it's like, okay,
6'7" wing player. going to Washington. That's a good pick for them though, because they need that 3-4. So
Yeah.
he's definitely going to be good in Washington. It's exactly what they need, in my opinion. The Knicks probably will trade this one too, because to be honest, with them picking up Mikal Bridges, they pretty much are good at the bench also, to be honest. So I don't see, they may not even keep this one. I don't know what Washington gave them for that 24, but I could see them like letting 25 go too. But like you said, whoever they were going to get at 24, if they would have kept it, is also going to be there at 25. So the Nets got 4 unprotected first round picks from New York in 25, 27, 29, and 31. They get the 2025 first round pick from Milwaukee, are protected 1 through 4. That's a lot.
Yep.
5 first round picks.
Yep. And a
But
couple
the
of
Nets always
deal.
do this. But that's dope for the Nets though. For the Knicks, it's more or less like, was that too much to give up? For the Nets, it's you're in full rebuild. So
But
they're just now, you got to remember, they're also like maybe 2 years ago are just now coming out of the Celtic trade with KG and them, which is crazy because that shit was like 10 years ago. And they just came out of that within the last like 2 seasons.
12, 2011, something like that.
Yeah. So just about 11, 12. And they're coming out of that.
But the thing is because the NBA is weird about trading first round picks.
Yeah.
I always you have to stagger them, and you can only trade so many pick swaps and all that kind of.
Yeah, you can't do first rounds in back-to-back years, and
right. So you have to stagger them and pick swap and all that kind of stuff, and
that's why you'll see it's like every 2 years it'll be like a 25, 27, 29, and a 31.
Right. And
so you'll keep your picks on the even years, just on the odd years you traded them out. So
you got teams that are loading up trying to make sure they get their best shot at next year's draft with all that talent that's supposed to be in next year's draft.
That's how I felt with the NFL draft this year too. Like a lot of teams kept their picks, or if they did trade out, it was because they're gearing up for next year. They're like, nah, the quarterback I really want probably coming out next year. The wide receiver I really want is projected to be there next year, or because next year's draft is going to be the same. Like we'll talk more about it as college football, of course, goes and everything, and we get closer to that time. But the interesting thing is to see how Shedeur does this year. See if Shedeur is going to lock up that number 1 pick, or at least a top 5. I think Shedeur is a top 5 talent. It's a lot he has to work on to be that number 1 pick. But I guess it's in his genes, in a sense.
Here's the thing with Shedeur, and I'm gonna just keep it 100. Because you're a high-profile player at a high-profile position, and you have some talent. You do have some talent. I'm not taking it. But because of the hype of your situation surrounding your father, who he was, and him being your coach and all of this and all of that, maybe some nepotism playing a large part in that.
Very large part.
But you have a lot of hype and potential and this and that surrounding you. What's going to happen in this coming year is people are going to lock in on you as a person and as an actual player. And they're going to want to know, who are you as a person? And they're going to want to know how much of this is fabricated because of the cocoon in which you've been raised in. And they're going to want to know how much of it is you, the actual person, once we pull you out of that cocoon and put you out on your own. Who are you going to be and how are you going to act? They're also going to try to pick you apart as a player. I want to see all your strengths, but I want to know all your weaknesses as well. I want to know what you do well, what you don't do well, what bothers you, what does not, so on and so forth. So another dude from France goes in the first round.
See, Knicks are showing up their depth, and the fact that they have no. They also just lost Hardenstein to free agency, which is the only player they really lost from their team. Other than who they just traded to the Nets too, but and they have no cap space at all. Mikal Bridges definitely took whatever was left of that cap space is gone
Oh,
now.
for sure. That cap
So
space done with.
good thing about a draft pick is you ain't really paying them too much anyway. So
No, and I want to
especially
say
at this point,
their salaries are all slotted. It's all guaranteed and all of that, and it's already you pretty much know what's going to be in the contract. I want to say certain payouts or guarantees and certain things like that. There's certain language that you can haggle over or whatever, but for the most part, it's pretty much NFL is like that. Major League Baseball is like that too, but the NBA just recently got like that also, like where all their rookie contracts are pretty much like standard.
I would tell this young man, don't be excited you got drafted, but don't look for an apartment in New York just yet. Nah.
God damn.
I mean, only because the Knicks are pretty loaded. So I don't even. It's one of them things like he'll probably be on a summer league team. He possibly is going to make a roster, but
yeah, I don't know.
How tall is Adam Silver? Adam Silver got to be what?
He like 6'5".
That's what I was thinking because he
like 6'5", I think.
Because a lot of these guys, they're still towering over him, but it's not like a crazy like how it was with
David Stern.
Yeah, with David Stern. You know, I'm learning so much about David Stern that I think I didn't pay attention to before. Not tonight. I think we're gonna have I never knew he was It's crazy because so I'm watching the Clipper joint.
Oh,
and that's
how is it?
So I didn't watch this week's episode. It's definitely interesting. Last week they focused in on Doc a lot. I learned a lot about Doc that I didn't know. I'm pretty sure he was very like instrumental in like his part of it and everything as far as like them getting the information. Yeah, last week's episode they honed in on Doc from when he played for the Clippers and like what he went through as far as like the racial stuff that he dealt with when he was playing for the Clippers. But they talked a lot about David Stern around that time and how racist he was. And you didn't really, it was a lot of racial undertone. It wasn't a lot of like out there stuff, but when you think about it with the whole dress code change, where the way they presented it was like just to look more business like and make, you know, the NBA be more uniform and just, you know, blah, 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 to where when you really thought about it, it was because of AI. It was because of some of these other players and the hip hop influence and all of that. And it was more or less like, it was more of that than the business side of things. And just like we've always known in sports in general, a lot of these teams have always been owned by old rich white families, whether they've been Southern or whatever. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's always been a good old boys club, especially with the NFL.
Facts.
Like, I still don't think we've had a black owner in the NFL, have we? I know we finally did in the NBA.
I don't think a majority owner. No,
I don't think so. I don't think there's been a majority black owner. There's been like consortiums and stuff. We have that now with Washington. But I don't think there's been a majority black owner in the NFL. NBA, we've seen it, but then they've also had consortiums in the NBA also. Bob Johnson, I think Bob Johnson was the majority owner of the Bobcats, was he not? At first, when they first came in.
Yeah.
And then he brought in like Nelly and when MJ
Mm-hmm.
came in. But originally Bob Johnson was the majority owner, so he was the first one.
Yep.
But even the NBA for the longest time was a good old boys club for
Yeah,
sure.
there's still no majority black owners in the NFL, although Magic has a part of the Commanders.
Yeah. Even in especially baseball for sure
Oh,
was a good old
hell
boys
no.
club, and that still
Hell no.
is. So Washington Knicks might be loaded, but Tibbs gonna run them into the ground by MLK Day. That's a fact.
Bruh. Hey, that's one of the things like we talk about in our little group, like me and Dre and some of our friends, because we all talk sports and stuff. But Tibbs has always been that kind of coach where he pretty much just he'll have his set rotation, he'll have his players he wants to play, and then like that's it. And I'm playing who I'm playing, and y'all gonna play 30, 40 minutes a night. I don't give a damn what nobody say, and you better produce. And that's just how Tibbs has always been. And he has a history of running players into the ground. You know, a lot of people think like Derrick Rose's injuries and stuff are Tibbs' fault.
I can understand that.
It's Derrick Rose and a couple other people. Like a lot of people blame Tibbs for their
Let me ask you
injuries.
something. I was talking in a group chat earlier, and there was a discussion that was being had that Derrick Rose is a bust. And my argument was that he was not because of how Dylan Jones from Weber State. That's a good pickup for Washington. I feel like he is not because of his resurgence with the Knicks.
I feel like he's not because he won a fucking MVP.
Because he won the MVP?
Yeah.
I think his Bulls years were shorted, but they were only shorted like what, 2?
Bruh, I put it to you like
2 years of his
if
career.
it wasn't for them first couple of injuries or whatever, that dude would have went on
Sky's
to
the
have
limit.
amazing career.
Like I always say Westbrook is the child of Derrick Rose because like his game, Derrick Rose game, so similar, so high octane, like just downhill running. So, but yeah, that was just my argument. I said no because of I didn't even think about the MVP thing in general, but it was for me. It was the Bulls years. I give you that. I think he had more good years than bad, but he got to the Knicks and it was like he turned up.
I mean, he had some okay years in New York. It's just like had he made
solid.
like
it got him.
I put it to you like this: had he made a couple of all-star teams in New York and got them deep into the playoffs, I could say yeah, and was like the catalyst for all of that. I could say yes, but without him making an all-star team when he got to New York or nothing like that, like all-star team ain't even that hard to make. You just got to be one of the top like 30 players in the game.
It is not hard to make.
So that's kind of why like I like the New York stuff. He proved that he still has something left in the tank. I'm not knocking him or nothing. I'm just saying I would say my argument on that would lean more on he was the youngest ever league MVP. And like started off his career like a phoenix out of the ashes. Like he was already like a very hyped player, number 1 draft pick, number 1 recruit in the country when he was a high school senior and all of that. But it's just the injuries. I mean, if it wasn't for the injuries, like this dude would have had a total different career. So It's similar to when all these baseball purists and shit want to keep Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds out of the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose, even Pete Rose, is like,
At
okay,
this
you
point,
want,
go and put Pete in, man. Just
bro,
go and put him in.
like Pete was a Hall of Fame player before he gambled as a manager. Why not put him in as just a player? You don't even have to acknowledge his managerial career when you put him in as a player.
At all.
But as a player, he's the all-time leading hit king. How can you not have this man in the Hall of Fame? Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens were Hall of Famers before they supposedly took PEDs. If you look at Roger Clemens just in Boston and you look at Barry Bonds just in Pittsburgh, they're Hall of Famers.
Even Sammy Sosa, in my opinion. Or you feel like Sammy was more like good, but he didn't get great until the PED.
I think that helped. I put it to you like this: guys like Sosa were like borderline, and the PEDs like made it unquestionable.
What about McGwire? Same.
I think McGwire would have been there. I think because McGwire hit damn near 50 home runs as a fucking rookie. So like McGwire had it. He always had it in him. But like I think McGwire probably would have been, if not like damn near like really, really close to being Hall. Sammy is more iffy, I would say, before the PEDs and stuff like that. But guys like Clemens and Bonds, Bonds had like 3 or 4 MVPs before he even went to San Francisco or whatever. Before
Machado versus Venom this weekend. UFC has a huge card this weekend.
They do.
That Pierre, I can never say his name. Pereira. Hold on, when is the Conor card? Is that it's the week after next, right?
Conor not fighting. He out with that that foot injury or whatever.
That was supposed to be this weekend, right?
303.
Or is this 302 this weekend?
Or 302. Hold up.
Let me tell you. I'm on Twitter right now. Yeah, 303 is this weekend. It was supposed to be this weekend because it was at the end of June. I remember the beginning of June had the one big fight that I was looking forward to. That first weekend of June, and then the Conor one was supposed to be.
Oh, that's right.
So it was 303. Yeah, 303 was this weekend with him. It's still gonna be a dope card Saturday though.
Oh hell yeah!
That's still gonna be an amazing card.
Let me see.
I didn't know Conor was out though. I know he was injured, but I didn't know it had.
Yeah, I want to say, when did they end up calling it off officially? It was. Oh, the Timberwolves take Terrence Shannon.
That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think as much as I like Michael Page, I think he's gonna get fucked up again. He played too much. And Machado is gonna fuck him up.
Yeah.
And I like Venom. I like Venom a lot. Venom played a little
tough
too
as Irish fighters are tough like Mexican fighters.
Yep.
They scrappy as fuck. They can take a punch and got an iron. They got an iron ass chin. And I think that if he fucks around, he gonna get caught, and then he gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
And Machado's the man to do it. He's definitely the one to do
it. And then that is always whether it's MMA or it's boxing, any kind of contact sport like that. You fuck around and you get caught at the wrong place, wrong time by the wrong hit. Punch, kick, whatever. Like, there's curtains. But you got a guy who's undefeated. And the crazy part is, looking at ESPN's lineup on ESPN Bet, Machado is actually the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you got them, and they're at what? They're at 170. I want to say that's middleweight. because they
Hey,
just
but
have
this
to
do you be watching the power slap thing that Dana White got to?
I watch the highlights when I catch it on social media. I've never caught it like on TV.
I think I did that first season. I watched it every week.
Mm-hmm.
I think Friday I'm gonna catch this card though. Paige Van Zant is in the power slap joint.
So she's competing this weekend?
It's on Friday.
Okay, because I saw matter of fact, it was earlier today sometime. I saw her or it was either earlier today or yesterday. It was a training video she was doing. You know how they have the half dummy, like from the waist up with no arms?
Mm-hmm.
She was training on that with the slap thing.
I couldn't do that shit. I ain't gonna lie. You ain't about to slap me. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way I'm about to just stand there and let a motherfucker slap the shit out of me. Hell no.
Wait, with your hands behind your back though.
Yeah, bro. I can't. Nuggets just drafted Ryan Dunn. It's up. Ryan Dunn. My TV's behind, guys. So as you guys are seeing
Forward
it,
from Virginia, 6'6", 214.
well, it looked like y'all trading this pick to the Suns. So there's that. So it looks like you're not keeping Ryan Dunn, and it's not up. It's down.
Said drafts best defender, adept at using his length, explosiveness, mobility, and instincts to guard multiple positions and be disruptive on and off the ball.
And this is probably a trade with is this part of the Ryan Holmes trade?
It could be. I'm not
Because
sure.
Was that hold on when they got Holmes? Was that from? Either way, Ryan Dunn ain't staying.
Weaknesses, they say he is an interesting litmus test. He has a great deal to prove offensively. Lacks much in the way of ball handling and shooting ability, making just 12 3-pointers in 65 games and hitting
So he's gonna
53% of his career free throw attempts. Ugh.
So he's gonna be more of a defensive player as far as like a big in the post, which is fine which is gonna be good for the Suns because they need that. They need depth at the big man position anyway.
But I mean, he only 6'6" though, so he's like more of a perimeter defender.
He's more like a Durant, but an undersized 4.
It's like he could play maybe small ball 4 or something like that. But like, when you got a guy like that who's 6'6" and got a decent size to him, and he can defend, like they say, multiple positions, you need that though because of all the switching that you do in today's game.
You got to be
able
to
always looking to try to take advantage, and you need a guy like that who can defend the 2 through the 4 positions, or the 2
even the 1,
or whatever.
Even 1 through 5, because sometimes you might get caught on a pick and roll, and you on the guard, like you got to be able to stick with the guard and be able to like defend. So
right,
I think that's gonna be a good that's gonna be good for Phoenix for the most part, especially with their style. You know
what else? Guys like that, when you got that kind of physical frame and you're already a great defender and you're labeled as the best defender in this draft class, if you just work on your shooting, just work on your outside shooting, whether in whatever shot you get from the outside, whether it be the corner, the wing, one side, the other, whatever it is, and you learn that and make that your go-to move on the offensive end, you become a very valuable player as a 3-and-D guy, a catch and shoot guy. You don't even have to work on just be a good catch and shoot guy, or a guy who could just at least catch and take a dribble and then shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Where were you earlier when Cody Williams from Colorado got drafted to Utah? We needed you earlier for the jokes, man.
Yeah, bro. We was really
Isaiah Collier to Utah. Fuck Utah sports. I mean, Utah is definitely another team that's in a rebuild. They're in a weird position of they're just getting players and they don't know too much of what direction they want to go in. Like, yeah, they have a lot of great, really good players. They just don't know what direction they want to go in as far as a franchise right now.
And I think they want to try to build around Jordan Clarkson, but
I love Jordan Clarkson, man. I wish we could have got him back in LA.
Like
I love Isaiah Collier also. He had a great year at USC.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you see a guard can shoot 50% from the field right at 49%, that's good.
Mm-hmm. It's
Because
a great pickup for Utah. I always say when niggas go out to these places like San Antonio, Utah, like you ain't about to get in trouble. The only thing is he about to hang with NBA YoungBoy a lot. That's about it. He probably gonna be at his house a lot. I'm about to
yeah,
tell
that's
somebody got to tell him don't go over there. Stay out the mouth, dog. That's about it.
right.
I forgot he lives in Utah. That's what made me to say that because I was like, what the fuck is in Utah?
Hey, but ain't that nigga about to go to jail though?
He's still locked up. They ain't let him out yet.
Oh, okay.
When he got the violation the last time, so he
Yeah,
might
I
be
was about
sitting
to say,
down.
I knew it was something like that was going on. Like he had a case or
That
something.
hey Dre, you gonna hate on about to say this, but that Jazz draft hat is fire. I like that joint.
It is kind of dope.
It give you that old school because what were they, the New Orleans Jazz before they moved out to Utah? That's still the feel I get from like with their colors and stuff like that. That's still the
Yeah.
feel I get from them a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that New Orleans undertone.
Bro, they shouldn't have never took this shit from him.
Pistol Pete is still one of my favorite players. It's so crazy. I like the old school games so much more. Like I've studied like the older players. Anybody who's ever had a basketball discussion with me about like greatest players of all time will know, my initial, I'm always gonna say Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell before anybody else. I just feel like while everybody's argument is always when they played against a bunch of plumbers and doctors and lawyers, that you can't help where you're born. It's still not going to take away from your greatness because I feel like it could have been a bunch of niggas out there or Negroes. I'm sorry, I don't want to, but it could have been a bunch of anybody else that was their height, and I feel like they still would have did the exact same thing. So,
yeah,
but Pistol P's probably one of my favorite points of all time.
To me, I say I still got Kareem up there because Kareem was like the ultimate winner because Kareem won titles and MVP, best player, everything on all three levels. And he won titles with two different teams in basically two different eras and almost two different generations apart in the NBA. He won it in 71 with the Bucks when Oscar Robertson was towards the end of his career. He was MVP, Finals MVP, and everything. And then in 85, he won another title with the Lakers and was Finals MVP 14 years after he did it before.
Mm-hmm. Kareem had one of the best. It's hard not to say Kareem is still the undisputed GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Because even with Mike coming in, it's like Mike gets it because of the championships. But when you look at the individual stats, Kareem was still at the top after Mike. You know what I mean? So it's like Mike gets it because of the championships, which is more of a team thing, not an individual. Mm-hmm. Not saying Mike didn't, anchor a lot of that, and it wasn't because of him, because it damn sure was. But there was a lot of other factors that went in that all just came together at the same time for Mike. But with Kareem, like you said, it was just the totality of his career. And still up until LeBron recently, he was still the all-time leading scorer in NBA history until LeBron just passed. He
stopped playing in 89. Yeah, 89.
Yeah. So it's like, that's like, what, 30, 20, 30?
20, right at 20 years.
That's crazy. That's pretty fucking lit. So it's like, I get why everybody else, not me, calls LeBron the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. From an individual standpoint, he's pretty much got it all.
Bro, at the time of his retirement at age 42 in 1989, Abdul-Jabbar was the NBA's regular season career leader in points, games played, minutes, field goals made, field goal attempts, block shots, defensive rebounds, and personal fouls.
Yep.
Bro, that is crazy.
Excuse me, guys.
That is fucking crazy. But like,
So I love having that GOAT discussion though, because I always feel like
yeah,
the GOAT discussion all depends on who you talking to, how old they are, their knowledge of the game. For me, I've always felt like this with the older players, just because I've had like, if you, our generation is probably one of the last ones, and I'll say probably mine at 37 is probably the last generation that grew up with their not just grandparents, but great grandparents and great great grandparents, to where one, you either heard the stories about these older players, or two, you were able to sit and watch a lot of this stuff with them. I was born in 87, so of course I didn't catch any of Kareem. Everything I've seen of him has been like video,
Baylor
stuff that I've
Shearman?
Boston?
Yeah. Who? Creighton.
Oh, Shearman. I don't think I know too much about Shearman. I didn't watch a lot of Creighton this year.
I kind of remember them doing something, but lefty.
Juan Nunez. Oh. I mean, Boston's another one. They're another one where whoever they picking is bench depth or not even gonna make the team.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a hitch in his shot too, kind of.
He's another one. Shearman. Don't get an apartment in Boston just yet, big dog.
Nah, I think they could use him though. Back into the rotation, maybe kind of. He gonna be one of them kind of guys that, like, his rookie year, he may average like 5 minutes a game or something like that, something real low.
Well, especially it opens. He's a wing, so
yeah, he's gonna be one of them human white flag type of players
6'6".
where you. Yeah, like he'll get in the game, like, when it's over and decided or whatever, something like that.
As much as I'm glad I'm a right-handed shooter, I love lefties. It just looks so. It's something about the way it looked, because I think back to like Lamar Odom hitting his jumpers or shooting threes. Like,
yes.
It just something about a left-handed shooter. The way it looked, it just looks smooth.
Bro, left-handed people can fucking shoot. That was always my.
It's so crazy. I'm a weird this is something I've never told a lot of people. I'm a weird ambidextrous person where I'm not dominant with one hand for any, like, one thing. Like football, I'm right-handed. Basketball, I'm right-handed because I throw, dribble, everything right. But I write left-handed. I eat left-handed. It's so weird.
Fucking
like
weird.
I don't have, like, most people are just left dominant for everything or right dominant for everything.
Yeah.
I'm like a 50-50 ambidextrous person where, like, sports and everything I'm right-handed, but life I'm left-handed. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, you want to know one of the weirdest fucking things?
Like I couldn't throw the ball left-handed if I wanted to.
I'm right-hand dominant.
That was the end of the draft.
Yeah, that was it. I'm right-hand dominant with everything. My fighting stance, lefty.
I'm the same way. With fighting, I'm ambidextrous too, because I throw a mean right or left. It just depends.
Bro, natural fighting stance is lefty. I don't know why. The
right feels better, but I can drop you with the left too. So
it's crazy. So weird because
draft was
remember one time
draft was long, about 3 hours. 3.5.
I was in the gym and I was really just working the heavy bag, and I can't remember. I think this was when was I in high school or too late. I know this was before I moved to Houston. I was still in New Orleans at the time, and I can't remember if it was one of my cousins, one of my friends, or what. It was like, "Are you left or right-handed?" I was like, "Why?" It's like, because every time I look over there, sometimes you're standing left, sometimes you're standing right. I'm kind of confused, actually. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." I didn't at that time. I'm like, sometimes I use one, sometimes I use the other. It just depends on what I feel comfortable with. Like, I may stand this way, I may stand. It just depends. I don't know. And he was like, "What you mean you don't know?" I said, "Because I feel comfortable doing both." So I I guess both. I don't know like how to say if I can't say one or the other because sometimes I feel comfortable one way, sometimes I feel comfortable. It just depends. But if we're talking about shooting, throwing a ball, brushing my teeth, writing, or anything like that, it's right-handed. Like it is what it is. But
So we did have a couple other things. I see. I'm looking at the timer, and we're right around what we normally do. But I did want to get your opinion on this. Was really only two other topics. The other one is, and we can say that I'll say four for next week. But Ryan Garcia getting a 1-year boxing ban, plus the fine.
Fine came to about $1,000,001, something like that. I want to say
pretty light. Probably like one. It's probably 1 or 2 fight purses. Probably his last fight purse, to be honest. That's probably what paid it.
I'm not even gonna say it was the whole purse. I'm gonna say it was part of the purse because I want to say he could have cleared
about 2
with the buys, depending on what his split was with the buys. Because remember, some of them will take that low guarantee.
Well, from what I heard, him or Devin still ain't got all their money from the fight. So
and now that was the other thing that I heard coming.
The way he was losing money on that poker joint the other night, he didn't care about that meal he just gave him. He already pretty lit.
He up.
I want to bring my homeboy Kenny on soon because I wanted to this week, but he couldn't. He time difference and everything. He was still gonna be at work, but
okay.
Me and him had a little discussion on Twitter. I'm with you, and I've heard you say this, that I don't think what he took altered the fight to the point of the way Devin's acting. I feel like maybe it could have gave him a little more power, maybe, but regardless, he couldn't duck that left that was coming at his ass. It's just it was too. And I also get what my homeboy was saying. It's a lot of what if and da-da-da. Okay, cool. Like Devin said, let's run it back after your ban. Let's see, if the outcome is still the same. I'm a firm believer that you took some shit, whether you knowingly took it or by, it was just something you took and it was an accident. I think either way he was going to whoop his ass. I really don't feel like it would have been any different.
It wouldn't have been different. It just wouldn't have been. Because here's the thing. When that little bit makes a difference in professional athletes, like we talked about before, like that little bit will make a difference, but it's not going to make enough of a difference to say you won or lost that fight based on that PED that you took.
Right. Like,
it's not going to make a difference. So just fucking forget about that shit. Like, bro, if that punch landed any slower or softer, you still got hit with it and you still couldn't dodge it. What are we really talking about? You got your loss taken off your record. He got his win taken away from him. It's basically a no contest.
Yeah, that's what they said it was. It was a no. They didn't do a DQ or anything. They just did a no contest.
Contest. And if we really get down to the nitty gritty, this was pretty much a slap on the wrist for Ryan Garcia because there's times where fighters will go a year or plus in between
without fighting anyway. So
on their own.
That literally, and like I said last week when we were talking about it, when it first dropped, I felt like he needed to take that year off anyway. He's got a lot going on as far as like dealing with the divorce,
personal life,
his mom being sick.
Yeah,
and like you said, a lot of times that's training time. That's all that is. You keep training as if you were getting ready for another fight anyway, because that's usually, like you said, it's usually some. Depending, but most fighters go about a year. You got some people right now, it looked like a lot of guys are trying to stay fresh, so they only going like 4 or 5 months between fights, 6 at the most. Because we got Anthony Joshua fighting in September, and that'll probably be about 4 between his last fight, 4 to 5. So then we got Tank and Loma is looking like October, I believe I saw. It was either October or November. That's
Okay.
another fight, that a big fight that's coming up. That's gonna be a pretty dope. I'm gonna love Tank and Loma. I think Tank is lucky he's getting Loma at the time he's getting him at. He's getting Loma at he would have got young Loma. It would have been night for Tank, and I love Tank. Yeah, I love Tank, but Tank would have been
early career
Tank.
Canvas. Early career Tank was more of a knockout. He was a puncher, is what I'll say.
He's got
now
a super
is more
defensive,
well-rounded boxer with that same power.
And as we saw in his last fight, he can pretty much knock you out when he gets ready to. Ended that bitch in the 8th.
He hunted him down. And it's like when you see one of them nature videos and you see like a tiger or a leopard or something like that, and they're hunting like a gazelle or whatever on the like in the African plains or something like that, and they just kind of crouched in the grass and they just looking. And they'll creep a little bit closer, and then they back on their belly and they kind of creep, and then just boom, out of nowhere, they just spring into action, and it within a few strides, they done caught up to him. A few more strides, they taking him down. Boom, they done. Like, that's basically what he did. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna peep you out for the first few rounds. I'm gonna start walking your ass down for the next few rounds. In these last couple of rounds, I'm trying to take you out. And that to me is like what I saw, and it reminded me of the best fight I think Deontay Wilder has ever fought in his career was that first fight against the big Cuban. What's his name? The big Cuban dude. I can't remember his name. But that first fight he fought against old boy, I remember people was like, man, old boy, I'm boxing him, man. He winning the fight, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, look, I said, Wilder is letting him punch himself out. I was like, I know that's not his typical game. I said, but look at his strategy. Big boy gonna punch himself out. Wilder gonna uncork that right hand and knock his big ass out. And sure enough, it was like 8th, 9th round with Wilder and King Kong from Cuba. Got it. And I said, I told you. And my homeboy, they called me on three-way that they was like, bro, how did you like what I said? I could just look at the fight and tell. I was like, normally in
the Yankees ass right now, 11-2. God damn.
Who beat them?
The Mets. Mets up on the Yankees 11-2. I won't get mad about stuff like this because the baseball season's so damn long. Like games like this are gonna happen. So I don't look at it bad. Like some people get I've seen some fans that be upset, like how are we losing them 11-2? Like it happens. Bro. I look at it the same way I look at soccer. Every once in a while, a team is gonna catch you and either sleeping or whatever. So
it happens to me. It happens in every sport. It just depends. And what I always tell people is they fucking professionals. This shit gonna happen. It is what it is. Like
it's supposed to happen.
But nah, we had some good fights this weekend. We had some good fights coming. Got some good fights coming up this weekend.
Yes, that UFC card is gonna be pretty fucking lit Saturday. That gives me something to do Saturday night.
Yeah.
I honestly forgot about UFC 303 because I knew Conor was on it. I just didn't know they had already taken him off.
Yeah, the other one I'm looking forward
Subway
to.
Series.
Cub Swanson is on the prelims. Michelle Waterson, the MMA hottie mommy or whatever, she's on the early prelims. Bro, guess who else is on the early prelims? This motherfucker been in the UFC since I had hair.
Long ass time.
Andre Orlovsky.
He's back on the card?
Bruh, I swear.
I thought he was I thought he was fighting in Bellator.
No, he is on the early prelims.
Because a lot of them are still fighting. Rampage had a fight at Bloodsport this past weekend.
Get the fuck out of here. You
Yeah,
serious?
I saw that. Bloodsport this last weekend was very interesting. Santino Morello was on that joint.
Well, I saw Santino was on it. I saw highlights of the
Moxley.
Moxley Josh Barnett finish
That
and
shit was
stuff like
amazing.
that.
Okay,
I
so
really want to go
if
back and
I'm
watch that
correct,
one.
Bloodsport is not the same as when you're watching regular wrestling. Of course, we know wrestling's fake and staged and different stuff like that. But Bloodsport is like,
Predetermined.
yeah, Bloodsport is not predetermined. Or is
No,
it?
no. I think it's more like a work shoot.
Okay. I always wondered that because
To me it seems
Felt
like
like
a
it's
work
improv.
shoot kind of. So it's weird because it's like it looks like it's a shoot, but like it could be a work. I don't
Got
know.
you. I always wondered. This was the first time I've ever watched Bloodsport for me this past weekend. So I know the next card, Shayna Baszler is on the next one. I saw she's coming back for that one.
Yes, she is.
I like that the WWE is allowing them to do stuff like this now. Of course, changing of the guard, new people in control. I ain't gonna say it's a lot more lax, but the youngers are realizing the landscape of the business and just the landscape of just everything, and you gain so much by allowing people to go do things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like opening that door to allow them to go here, and here. So
Right.
it brings the
The thing
eyes.
is, man, when you get more eyes on your
I wish
product,
WWE did it years ago. We could have got so many different New Japan and
bro,
WWE matchups.
there's so many different
TNA.
crossovers that we could have had. Like,
The one
imagine
I'm waiting for them to. I think by next year, I'm hoping. I'm saying next year, but it probably may take longer. Is that WWE AEW crossover? I
it
feel
ain't
like when
happening, bro. It is not happening. It's not. I keep
a
telling
lot of
you, it's
ego, a
not
lot of
happening.
egos. It's a lot of egos involved. It really is, and I get it. I'd have one too. I understand it. I do.
Shit
I
ain't
fully
happening, bro.
understand it. But
I would
that's
love
the
for it to
crossover I'm
happen,
waiting for.
but
Just like any crossover, it's always who wins what match and who does it make more sense to in the
the
scheme of their company and story to have that person win. That's
I,
always going to be the biggest like
mhm.
uh
Here's where I think
why should your champion put over my champion in
the
a sense, or
closest we may get to something like that, it would be if an NXT star was allowed to go to Japan for some reason, and there was like somebody from like a ROH or something that was on the same card.
got it.
I think
Yep.
they may be on the same card under a
But
promotion
even
overseas.
with
I
that,
don't think they would ever be in the same match. I
but
think that's about as close as we
even
could
with
get.
that, even if they were in the same match, their home company still takes over when it comes to the booking, not New Japan. That's the
Right,
crazy part of it.
right,
So it still would
right.
end up being like a weird WWE AEW thing that probably would end up not happening. So
And it would be like, it don't matter. It could be like Sol Ruka is on the same card as like Billy Starks. It would be
Astros
something
play
like
Mets
that.
starting Friday in New York. Astros and Mets are going to be a pretty dope, pretty good series. The Mets
That's
aren't
the
bad.
thinking,
I
right?
really ain't been paying this. I probably won't start paying attention to baseball until after the All-Star break, like I usually do. I watch here or there early in the season. I'm like that with everything but football. Football is probably the only one where I'm watching from week one all the way through. Basketball, I really don't start paying attention fully until after around Christmas.
Mhm,
That first month and a half is like the two
mhm.
months kind of, I'd say, because yeah, like a
Yeah.
month and a half between the start to Christmas. I'm like, eh. Christmas break going into All Star is when I really start paying attention to basketball.
Mhm.
Baseball kind of the same. Football all year. Hockey, I got to get back into hockey. I used to love hockey, and I really have not been watching hockey the way I used to. So,
Yeah.
and because of
I
you guys, I try to watch everything now. I want to be fluent in everything that we talk about as far as
bro,
sports. So,
it's crazy because I'll try to dabble in a lot of everything. Like the other night,
Try.
I was keyed in on that game 7. Like this was like, okay, what I should have did was I should have put my money where my mouth is. But every time I see something like this and I say, okay, I'm gonna bet on these next couple of games money line for this team to extend it to a game 7, they always end up losing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just watch. But I think the Panthers are gonna be able to force at least a game 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
They won game 4, won game 5. Here come game 6. I was like, okay, Florida about to end it. They force a game 7. Bro, last night it's 2-1 right at about 8-9 minutes left in the game. I was locked the fuck in. I had I can't even remember what I was trying to watch on my laptop. It was somebody's podcast or something. I was locked the fuck in. I was like all in the game. Like I'm like, oh shit, like everything. I didn't even have money on it, but I'm locked in because it's game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get this very often, bro. I was like, what? You know what? Look at this dude, man. What
Lakers in 5. Huh. I like it.
did? Gotta tell this nigga to go to bed. He lucky he don't start work till Monday because I would tell him to go to bed, but I'm gonna leave him alone.
Hey man, shout out to my dog Drew, man. Lakers in 5, big dog. You know it.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It just this has been a crazy time, bro. Shohei Otani, like he
Yep,
has gotten
I'm
into
watching
this
Sports
groove with
Center.
the fucking Dodgers, bro. God damn.
Yeah, they got a steal.
Wait, this is how funny baseball is. Earlier in the season, they was talking about how when Shohei plays in LA at Dodger Stadium, how he's not that good and he don't hit home runs and blah blah blah. Fucking was it yesterday or the day before? Whatever, I think it was yesterday or the day before. He hit his third 450 plus foot home run in that stadium this year. Y'all went from dragging this man about how he can't hit home runs in that stadium to talking about he didn't hit his third 450 plus
Game
foot home
RBI.
run in that stadium this year.
He's on a 10-game RBI streak right now.
Bro, I think he got 6 450 plus home run, 450 foot plus home runs this year out of all the home runs that he's hit. I want to say he's still leading the majors in home runs as of right now. Matter of fact, let me take a look right quick.
The Dodgers are for sure the team to beat, though. For sure.
No, I'm sorry, Judge has 29, but Shohei has 25. But I want to say Shohei is averaging like damn near 400 feet or something ridiculous like that with his
And it's so crazy that Cleveland is leading the AL right now.
Who?
Cleveland is leading the American League right now.
But this is what they doing it with pitching.
Yeah.
They got a good lineup, but Cleveland low key has like a really good staff. Like really good. Like their whole pitching staff, the starters and the relievers, they're all really good. And that's one of those teams where they were bad for so long and they just start stockpiling talent, and eventually you put it all together sometimes because you get enough talent and enough different positions to where you put it together.
And a couple free agents come in, different things like that. Look at my boy Cristiano Ronaldo. I was watching my homeboy was posting about his son. His birthday was today. Shout out my dog Roman, turned 12 today.
Shout out to Roman turning 12 today.
I was watching the video and he was he posted one of his soccer videos, and his finisher was one of Ronaldo's I was like, okay.
Bruh, like that shit. My coworker was watching this shit on the phone in the classroom when I went in there. And it was I think it was still in the first half. They had a call and Ronaldo had a free kick, and they moved the ball back. He was pissed, and he like going off on the refs.
It's crazy that they lost.
Bruh, Georgia was up. When I looked, I was like,
they lost, but they're still ahead of Georgia. That's the crazy thing. That's the beauty of soccer, is that you can lose and still be ahead.
I knew it was Euro. I saw POR, so I know that's Portugal. I'm like, who the fuck is GEO? I was like, bro, is that really Georgia? He was like, yeah, that's Georgia. I was like,
but they're ahead of them in
losing to Georgia right now.
But they're ahead of them in points by 2, so it's like it's one of them things like they lost, but they're still ahead of them, so they could win their next. They could win their next match with 1 goal, and even if Georgia wins theirs with 2, they're still out. So,
yeah, they would basically need Georgia would need to win by like
3 or
4 or 5 goals, something crazy like that.
They would need Portugal to have another 0, another goose egg game.
Mm-hmm. So Portugal would need to lose, and Georgia would need to win by like a stupid amount.
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Okay, I figured it was gonna be some. Well, no, this is the knockout stage.
So they probably out there.
No, Georgia made it.
Did they make it? Well, it depends. So it wouldn't really depend on Portugal.
They had it on the TV, but let me pull it up right quick so I could.
Because they're up 6-4. I mean, Portugal had 6 and Georgia had 4. So,
God dang it! I pulled up the table. I didn't mean to pull up the table.
Turkey beat Czech.
Right.
That's like Czech's out. Czech only had 1 point. Turkey had 6. Here it is, the knockout stage. Spain and Georgia. Okay, so they did make it to the knockout round. So Georgia has Spain. Portugal has Slovenia, France, Belgium, Germany, Denmark, Romania and Netherlands, Austria, Turkey, England, Slovakia, and Switzerland, Italy. Okay. Not too bad. I think that's all we had sports-wise, man. This was mostly about the draft tonight. So
yeah, it was really draft heavy.
Draft night was on.
Wait, bro, before we forget, because I know I wanted this kid on the graphic. Shout out to Quincy Wilson.
Oh, yes. 16 sprinter 4x400, I think it was.
He set the under 18 record.
And he's the first person, the youngest to be on the Olympic relay team since 1930. I tweeted it earlier. I don't feel like looking right now, but it was like 1938 or something like that. Still very long time. Like, So shout out to him for making the U.S. Olympic team. Can't wait for the Olympics this year. I watch every Summer Olympics. I actually like the Winter Olympics also because, as dark as I am, I like to snowboard. Dre's not the only friend we have that plays in snow, but yeah. My bad.
Hey man, you niggas crazy.
My bad, bro. But yeah, man, I love the Winter Olympics too, just because I like snowboarding and skiing and stuff. And I actually, probably because of Cool Runnings, do they still got bobsledding? Because that's still I wonder if that's still. I wonder if I'm too old to try to be on the U.S. bobsled team. That shit always look lit.
Yeah, they still got bobsledding.
I'm about to try it.
What else, man?
That's it. I'm trying to think what else is coming up. Again, a dope game tomorrow night between the Las Vegas Aces and the Chicago Sky. You get Angel Reese against Asia Wilson. Of course, that's how they gonna promote it. Two big stars against each other. UFC 303 Saturday night. Shout out Kendrick. It's so crazy now. When I'm thinking, I do that. I think that's it. I don't think there's too much else going on in sports between now and next Wednesday. Like, share, subscribe to all the pages: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
And we be around, man. Catch us next week.
Yeah. Yeah, we never know. We may pop on a space or something, or live or something.
I might run the space Saturday from the Susio Sports page during UFC. I usually catch the entire card from like the early 2 o'clock all the way until late. Whole house hates me because the big TV is only on whatever I want it on anyway. I pay for this bitch.
Bro, Maddie hates that I have the 2 TVs set up in the living room too. She was like, "You can't be doing." I was like, "I can do whatever I want in my house."
Let me tell you something. I can do whatever the fuck I want right here. It's my shit. It's just mine. This is love.
Wait, next thing you know, I come home and she downstairs. She play my PlayStation 5 more than I do now.
Listen, the girls was like that this weekend. They just kept asking. They were like, "Daddy, can I play 2K? I know how to play 2K. Can I play FIFA? I know how to play FIFA." So I actually let them play, and then they just wanted to touch the game because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I was like, "Come on, bro." And they have a PS5. That's the wild part. I'm like, "What do y'all play at the house?"
Drew got a PS5 in his room. My PS5 is in the living room. I came home one time. They playing Fortnite or something.
I remember you
down here, he upstairs, and then they cousin, she live around the corner. She playing my cousin PS5. Her dad. I come home today, them 3 big asses in the room playing Roblox. All 3 of them playing Roblox. They got their laptops out.
Man, everybody been trying to get the girls are trying to get me to play. My little homie Cameron, he's been trying to get me to play. I'm like, I don't like Roblox. I can't. I refuse. I won't. Like, I need y'all to get Fortnite. Y'all want to play something with me? Play something that I finally look. I done finally came on the Fortnite. Y'all need to play with me.
And I was running straight, right? My gun was pointing one way, and my face was looking the other way, or something like that. And I was running in a whole different direction. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I was just like, nah, this ain't for me. Y'all got it. I quit. But for Keyz, the sponsors over at Gel Blasters, Play Dogs, the other sponsors on the CDB Multimedia Network.
We got a lot, man. We working. Everybody, whole network is working.
710 Labs, Dr. Dabra,
Luke Belair,
Champlain.
I forgot the sex toy one. We got that tells you we got a lot, bro.
All the rest of them, bucked up, potentially. You know what I'm saying? All the other pies on CDB Multimedia.
I gotta pop up in a couple other ones, man. We ain't
we gotta do another crossover episode.
Yeah, man. I ain't been on Susio Boys in a minute, man.
We gotta do another crossover episode.
Definitely.
Yeah, we gotta put that together.
Yeah, we ain't had the fellas on in a couple of weeks now. Like the whole squad. So yeah, we gotta.
Oh boy, you sit too long with your knee in a certain position and it gets stiff. That motherfucker hurt me.
Yeah, I know when I get up, I'm about to feel old as hell. My back, I can feel it in my back right now. It's crazy,
bro. It ain't even hurting bad. It's
I know we wrapping up, but I'm watching Sports Center at the same time. Bam Adebayo signed a 3-year, 166 extension. Still got 2 years and 72 on his current deal, so
yeah,
that's pretty lit for him.
Well, I kind of figured that they would try to at least bring him back because Jimmy said he wants to be a free agent after next year. See, so that's why the news.
I think Jimmy just gonna
makes even more sense now when I heard the Jimmy shit.
I think Jimmy just gonna test the market, but I don't think he gonna leave Miami. But I think Jimmy want that ring, so
he
gonna see who. he gonna pull a KD because
Yeah.
he's nearing the end too a little bit where it's like, I at least need to give me one. Hey, I think we just need to do an episode with the whole team. Bring House in, maybe Marty. Marty talks sports really well too, yeah. Like,
yeah.
we definitely gonna have to. We definitely gonna have to do a big ass family joint like we did for the birthday joint.
Yeah,
for sure. So
yeah, we definitely gonna have to do something. We're gonna plan something out.
Yeah, we just got to make sure.
I think probably like when training camps start and everybody start getting hyped about their team and shit. I think
football is usually the best time to do that because everything basketball's ending as we just had the draft tonight. Probably once college and NFL's like gearing up for the most part.
Yeah, it'll be like not like I'll say like right before preseason starts. Probably be the best time because when football season actually get here, I'm gonna try to get as many like good quality guests as like
on a weekly.
Yeah,
because the great thing about us doing Wednesday is we're in a sense wrapping up from the previous week from that Monday night. Giving it like a day break, talk about it on Wednesday. But then we getting right back into it because we got Thursday and the next week. So that's the one thing I love about football. It's so much you can talk about from the previous week and then gearing up for the next week. So this football season is going to be very, very interesting.
In that wheelhouse because Tuesdays is typically NFL teams off days. And so Wednesday is like their first like practice of the new week of the new installment and everything else. So it's like
going into
and there's no real college football. College football typically starts on a Thursday
and Friday.
Right.
For the most part. So, mostly Pac-12 on Friday. Thursday you don't get too much except for like Conference USA and shit like that. So
yeah, and there's the rare like Tuesday. There's like a Tuesday, Wednesday game. It's like some weird shit. Like the MAC may do something like that, or the
sometimes the MAC is on Thursday.
Like mid-major conference that may do like some weird weekday game or something like that. But it's maybe a couple games like that a week, but they're not very significant at all to the overall standings and whatnot. But nah, man, for my brother Keyz, for everybody else, appreciate y'all listening, tuning in, the likes, the retweets, the quote tweets, the shares, the comments, all of that good stuff. Appreciate
beautiful engagement tonight during the draft, man.
Yes, very good.
We'll be live tweeting tomorrow for round 2. There's still some very, very dope quality players still on the board for round 2. So we're definitely gonna see. We're on a Bronny watch now. to see where he's going undrafted.
Hey man, I think the little dude got a shot. Like
somebody's gonna draft him because of his last name. Like it's a given. I'm not trying to put him down, but it's pretty much a given. As we saw tonight, there are clearly 30 players better than him. And there's probably another 30 in the second round, but somehow he's gonna slip in there, and somebody that should have got drafted is gonna go undrafted because Bronny decided to not go back to school like the dumbass he is. That's my rant for the week too. That's how you end it. Dumbass. Your daddy dumb too. Shit. Should have told you. I'm dumb.
Stupid. Man, just end the show. Fuck it.
Stupid. I'll tell you.